excited indeed, Carol, because there are lots and lots of things to resolve for this week. We've had some teams climbing the rankings on Monday that we did not expect, before having an amazing day, breaking the records for the most kills in a round in LBFF history with 40 kills last week on Monday, and it made them one of the teams fighting for the top of the rankings. However, we have only one team from Group A on the top 6 of the ranking, that is Vivo KEYD, and a group that we expected a lot, maybe having some trouble to deal with groups C and B playing the more strategical game, right?
Yes, exactly. And I like that you pointed out about Vivo KEYD, because as much as we don't see them during the rounds, they do their part, they do what they need in silence, and that's okay, that's good. I mean, we are expecting show, right? But if they are doing their part and if they are very consistent in the table, that's more than enough. But of course, Marcelo, before led us breathless last week.
Finally, we saw a great round by B4, and we have the schedule for you guys on the screen to know what teams will be playing today, and we will have exactly Group A against Group C. That's why I was focusing on Group A, because Vivo KEYD will be here trying to defend themselves in the top 5. B4 is here trying to get into the top 5. They are in the 6th position right now, and Corinthians is fighting to keep their lead on our table. We know that Esports and Loud will not be playing today, so the teams that can reach Corinthians today are Vivo KEYD, Team Codasolid, and B4. The newcomers are in the 5th place in Group C, and they might get to B4. We have Fluxo, Los Grandes, Metagaming, Pen Gaming, Santos, Vivo KEYD, B4, Corinthians, FURIA, Netshoes Miners, Team Codasolid, and Team 1 getting to the servers today. And of course, tomorrow we'll have more action, right, Carl?
Yes, tomorrow we have Group C again, but this time playing against Group B. Got Unidas, INTZ, Loud, Nitroxx Top10, Esports, and Team Liquid. Team Liquid that finally got their first booyah after 42 rounds. Very well played. I mean, not for them, but they finally got their first booyah last week. And Esports there are coming here for this personal fight against Corinthians for the top. But also we have to focus on Loud. They're also fighting over the top 3, trying to reach Esports points. And we have Nitroxx Top10 that were the first team last week to have a triple booyah here in Free Fire Brazil League Season 5.
Indeed, Carol, we saw the teams that are playing on Sunday, and on Monday, of course, we will have Group A against Group B, but the players are all ready, and we have images, we have footage from the players inside of their gaming houses, and we have that on screen before the B4 team probably taking that last trip to the bathroom. Corinthians as well. We see FURIA with the maps on the table. We see 19 over there. His hair got a little higher for this week, right? As we see Team Codasolid all having some fun and games over there. Team 1 with only two players right now focusing on their jobs. Probably the other players are having their moment of focus. And we see Netshoes Miners, a team that needs to improve and go back to what we had on the first weeks. We have Fluxo on the top left corner of the screen, Pen Gaming getting together in the center of the room with that beautiful glass table, and the boom box over there.
And the blanket, I can see the
blankets, the blankets, because it's cold in São Paulo. We know that Los Grandes is over there. Nice setup by Los Grandes, always changing the lighting. We have Santos with the flags on the background, Metagaming with that large table for the players to gather, and Vivo KEYD, you see Nando 9 with a nice haircut from Nando 9. He has a draw on the right side of the head. I want a picture to know what's on the side of the head of Nando 9.
And what I like about Vivo KEYD that we just saw, that was Dead God. He was in the middle as the other player was around him, and he's the team captain. He's the leader during the rounds, and maybe that can make a little bit of difference, because all of them can focus to see him and follow his lead, of course. But also, Marcelo, I want to know what is going on in our table, because last week we had this big fight in the middle of the table. So let's check this out.
we will have a big fight today for the top of the rankings, because Vivo KEYD and Team Codasolid and before will be playing, and they are at least 74 points behind Corinthians. Vivo KEYD is 74 points behind Corinthians, and they need to score heavily and avoid a good scoring by Corinthians, a team that has scored at least 50 points in each round they played, Carol.
Yes, and as I said, we had this personal fight in the middle of the table between FURIA, Santos, INTZ, Metagame, Netshoes Miners, who are the teams that are also playing today. So they will coming back again to fight to be in the top 12 and see Los Grandes, Netshoes Miners, and Metagame, which I just said they fought last week for the middle of the table. They will come again to take a probably the place of our INTZ Nitroxx Top 10. But on Monday we had a double booyah from Team Codasolid, which they are also playing today. They will come for Vivo KEYD for sure. We should definitely keep an eye on that. But speaking of booyah, Marcelo, Fluxo team, they showed us even without no brew, they can get a solid game and a champion game, you know, and they will also fight again to be back at least in the top 5 if they not get in the top 3.
It's safe to say that Fluxo came back last week. That they needed that comeback. They got 2 booyahs on the first round they played on Saturday, and they got two booyahs. They got a booyah on Monday for their score. They have 2 booyahs in each map of the rotation, but it's safe to say as well that Team 1 will not finish the day in the last place, right? They are only 11 points behind Unidas. Unidas will play tomorrow and Monday, but it's safe to say that at least today Team 1 might leave the last place, placing that they've been for the last, I don't know, 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah, definitely. Since the very beginning, they were going really bad in our table, and right now those are the results. But if they manage, Marcelo, they can even get today in the points of Pengame, which stands right now with 327, and there is, I would say, 30-ish points difference between Team 1 and Pengame. So anything is possible for Team 1 today if they have set new goals, if they change their strategy, which we haven't seen. That their problem is not to get in the end of the game, but to get the booyah, to manage to get the booyah, to handle the pressure.
And a team who got a booyah last week but need to improve their gaming and their scoring week by week is Netshoes Miners. We have some standings for you guys on the screen. They leave the G12 and the top 12. As we see on Season 1, they finished in the 8th place. Season 2, they finished, week 2, they finished with 100 points. Week 3, they finished with...
I think it's season. Oh, no, it's a week. It's week. As for a week, sorry.
And from the week number 4, they started dropping, and they've got to improve that game since week 2, which was their best week. They need to improve it a little bit because they fell from 50 points per game per day to only 33 points per day. And we see the players in rankings by kills. We see that Natividade and Cebolinha are trying to hold the team all together, but IGZin, Trem, and Vitin are not being that cooperative. IGZin still trying to cooperate a little bit with damage, and we were talking about Trem, a player that has shown better Free Fire for the last seasons.
Definitely.
Still needing to show up for this season, right?
Yes, of course. And talking about the Natividade once again, he is one of the players that we saw some weeks in the MVP list. Netshoes Miners is depending so much on Natividade right now, which is it's different from the other teams that we have seen that have this split of players in the game. Like FURIA was the best team of Sunday, and we saw that most of the kills was splitted by the players. We had 1-9, we saw a great points for killing by 1-9, Mem God, Field, BL God, and right now, depending so much on Natividade, Cebolinha makes the team a little weaker, Because if Natividade die in the early game, we don't know where they will head to. And we have seen that Netshoes Miners also, they are trying to avoid early battles, which it is kind of also a little bit bad and good for them. Very balanced, because in the early battles you can caught the other team out of guard and get a point for, you know, for killing, because they don't have the right armor, the right guns. But still, Netshoes Miners, they are experienced here in Free Fire Brazilian League. They are just maybe not connecting their game this season.
And it's fun that you pointed out that FURIA split the kills through the players. We have examples like that in SS Esports with MTS and Boot On also figuring on the top 5 teams for the top 5 players for killing. We have Jubinha helping a lot, so 3 players at least playing the kill game. Vivo KEYD with that god, and Nando9 getting the kills all split, and it needs to happen a little better for Netshoes Miners. We have some more figures to show you about Netshoes Miners that will come on the screen. It's not figures. It's something that you need to
stay tuned.
A gente pela primeira vez fora do top 12 aí, a mudança de meta nos atrapalhou um pouco no começo do campeonato, mas isso já mudou. Mas a gente teve uma caída agora nesse último final de semana, nosso pior desempenho.
O trem devolve a derrubada pra cima do Biel. O trem também derrubado pelo Nine. Os 4 jogadores da Netshoes Miners voltam pro lobby.
Ficamos muito tristes com isso, e durante essa semana a gente está trabalhando muito a questão de autoestima, de sempre pensar positivo, de restaurar a confiança, né? Para essa semana a gente vir melhor, e se Deus quiser, conseguir a classificação aí.
Respeita!
I was with my mic closed. I lost it. I'm dumb, sorry. But we know that Netshoes Miners need indeed to turn things around for this week. And so we need them to show up a little better. But the guys who are showing a little better are here. Right, Carol?
Yes, indeed. Before, if you are talking about before, Marcelo, they definitely showed us, they gave us quite a show. Because, Marcelo, they don't even score with a Booyah, but they were the best of the best from last weekend with the highest score. But which is more higher right now, Marcelo? It is something that you are about to hear.
I'm listening to the control tower, clearing us for takeoff, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R13D1, heading straight to Purgatory. This is your captain, Marcelo Ferrantini, and my co-pilot, Carol Bombshell, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, cause it's time to drop, Carol!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, so welcome to the island of Purgatory. So let's head straightly to Brasilia, because we have before Netshoes Miners and Metagame. While the other teams are no worries, they are in greater peace, because right now it is time to get definitely in action.
And let's check out Brasilia already, because we know that this confrontation always happens, and Netshoes Miners probably this time will have the better position to fight, and it forces Metagaming to leave the surroundings and let some space for Netshoes Miners. It seemed that finally, with Metagaming and Netshoes Miners, we will not have that fight inside of Brasilia, right, Carol? But Natividade joining its team, and it seems that maybe this fight will not happen at least until 2.5, 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, that we know that Netshoes Miners, they are always avoiding the early fights, and Metagame always comes for the Netshoes Miners, and they manage to get a couple kills. But what got my attention right now is that Netshoes Miner, they went directly where Metagame usually goes, fall, in the middle of Brasilia, because we have the upper side, the middle, and the downside, the below. which is Netshoes Miners' favorite drop call. So let's see what they are up to, because maybe we watch
We're
it.
gonna be the one that saves
Nay.
me.
And after all, we watch it in the state-on video that their coach are trying to regain their confidence here in Free Fire Brazilian League.
And we know that Metagaming is having a tough season, mostly because of the punishment they took, that they lost 16 points because of the use of skins on the ice barrier, right? And that hurt a lot for Metagaming, and now they are trying to come back to the top 12, as we see that maybe Vivo KEYD and Team Codasolid will face each other near the forge, near the ski lodge over there, as we see the two teams changing their drop calls, right, Carol?
But something special about Metagaming is that since the first season where they were, sorry, not the first season, but the past season, season 4, where they were also newcomers, they always showed this graceness about want to win, to have this, they were always so thirsty to be equals with the other teams among in the Serie E. So we can definitely trust that Metagame is definitely well solid to be part of this Serie A teams. But it looks like Metagame and Netshoes Miners face off.
Finally, Netshoes Miners coming for Metagame and having to deal with Lost, using the M4A1 to deal some damage against the Netshoes Miners team that probably used the negative to get a better positioning, and that's what's going on. But Metagaming rotated. They're not in the same place, and it seems like they chose not to fight, Carol.
As we are already used to see that Netshoes Miners, they don't engage at all in early fights. They prefer to be more prepared for that, which is probably one of the coach's decision, because they seems very weak here this season, and it is also very intelligent from them to avoid these early battles if they want at least get in the late stages of the game. But even though I like the position of Metagame to always know their weakness from their enemy Netshoes Miners and come for them. Even though they didn't get the kill, they got, you know, they scare off Netshoes Miners.
No, you're enemy! I got to make a reference for Rage Against the Machine. I needed that. But now we see that Netshoes Miners chose not to fight, and as you said, they are having weak fights at the beginning of the game. They are always losing players or getting wiped out in the early stages of the game, and it's wise for them to keep themselves safe inside of that watchtower in the middle of nowhere over there, to get safe around the danger zone, right, Carol?
Yeah, but I tell you what, Marcelo, a lot of teams that come from the campsite or the forge drop call, they go for a rotation in there. We haven't seen that Team 1, it's always locating themselves where Netshoes Miners are right now, and probably Vivo KEYD will also come to contest the same call where Vivo KEYD stands right now. But
and as you said, Vivo KEYD coming from the forge. Vivo KEYD coming from the forge maybe will engage, and it seems like Modestia got the information that EGZ is over there, and we see that guy using the ice to protect himself. More ice coming in. They need to climb the hills, and that guy is leading with the ice barriers. He's using more and more ice barriers. He had lots of ice barriers, and now he has only 3. And will that be enough for him to climb to where the Netshoes Miners are? Netshoes Miners fighting with the advantage from the top-down view. We see Modestia trying to hit Vitinho over there, but Atividade with the grenade puts General to the floor. General, another of the top killers for Vivo KEYD, now on the floor and in need of help, but Nando9 put a bullet on EGZ's watermelon. And now Vitinho goes down as well by that guy. Doing a good job. That guy finishes off and sends the first blood to its place. Corinthians needs only now 3 kills. Vivo KEYD now needs only 3 kills to get to the 1,000 points mark. They will be the next one. That guy finds Natividade. 998 for them. They can get to 1,000 kill in this fight. We see Jezinho on the watchtower. There's one player from Netshoes Miners going away, trying to run from that fight. We see General using the grenade. Modestia coming up to fight EGZ mano a mano, and Modestia sends EGZ to the floor. The last player remaining for Netshoes Miners took off. It seems to me that it was Cebolinha over there trying to keep the Netshoes Miners around, and General finishes off! Vivo KEYD, you got 1,000 kills on your bag! The man for the 1,000 kill was General, the top killer for this season. And Vivo KEYD starts the week getting the big mark, getting the big points, and having a nice fight against Netshoes Miners, who is still having trouble, Carol, to deal with the early fights.
Exactly, and which scares me a little bit because Netshoes Miners, they got the upper view against Vivo KEYD. I don't think Vivo KEYD caught them off guard, which is kind of interesting to watch what kind of game they are playing. They seem still very weak here in Free Fire Brazilian League, and congratulations to Vivo KEYD in 1,000 kills. They joined the club of 1,000 kills.
They joined the 1,000 club, and now it seems the team Codasolid wants to start their run towards the 1,000 kill as they put Layout to the ground, but Peck is on the ground as well, and he needs help. He tripped and fell. And now we see Hick coming over to help Layout as Vitin had his attention called by the players on the ice barrier on top of the hill. And as we see, Hick healed Leal, put Leal back to its feet, but now Leal taking lots of damages once again, and he is on the ground. Vitin doing an amazing job. We see this fight going on, and the FURIA team also joining the party from behind, and now Pão and Peck having to deal with FURIA by themselves, and the grenades are coming in. Memgad trying to do his job with the grenades. He was healing himself over there, and now Field retreating with the whole FURIA squad as 1-9 brings the flaming sword, the flaming katana over there to run as fast as he can. Memgad trying to find his aim, but the former triple team fight now might become a 4-team fight, right, Carol?
Yeah, and I like the decision of Ping Game to retrieve, because they are also not very good in the table. They are about to go to the relegation zone if they if they decided to go to this early fights and die early and come back to the lobby and not scoring points at all. So it is good for them to retrieve right now and decide at least to keep points for position, which we already see that Team Codasolid and Nitroxx Top10, they position themselves very good in fields, and they know the call, so they will defend that. And also Pen Game spotted that there were not only one team there, but two teams, FURIA team, and they could also get in more trouble because Fluxo team, it's also getting their field spots over there.
We start to see that maybe the fields will be the last points of the safe zone, and Pão put Memgad to the ground with a nice AWM shot, but Bielgod brings it back. Bielgod puts Pão to the floor. A nice headshot. The watermelon broke. Watermelon sugar high. Watermelon sugar high. Now Pão has no watermelon sugar, and he needs to retreat and get healed by his teammates, as we see Bielgod also getting some healing. 1-9 over there, the Brazilian Saitama doing his best to keep FURIA over there safe and to try to get some information. But we see a soccer classic going on right now that maybe we'll have Corinthians facing off against Santos. And now the Corinthians squad is advancing. Zenak was left behind to play the long distance game, as we see Ousado, Razuri, and Gelo trying to engage against Santos, since they have to climb the hills. It's better for them to climb before the fight than after that. And that's what's going on. Corinthians, led by Gelo, leading the charge for Corinthians, trying to climb the hills, Carol.
Corinthians, who is in a great piece right now, they probably will engage in this fight against Santos, but they are 93 points away from them. So, as they should, they would come for Santos, definitely.
It seems that they will come for Santos indeed. Dudu using the grenades over there. And if he misses one of that windows, would be great, because he will blow himself. And we always like to see people blowing themselves up.
We enjoy the mistakes.
We enjoy the mistakes. And now we see the FFX dealing with this rush from Corinthians. Now Zenak taking lots of damages. And the grenades are coming in. Gelo and Zenak use the shields quickly to save themselves against that grenades. We see the FFX still trying to Kobe the Corinthians players as Rush tries to flank, but Corinthians rotates to the other side, and Zado with the grenades. Doing the first Kobe of the day, putting Rush to the ground and finishing off Rush over there to get Santos to only 3 players. Hazuri dealing with Autoboot. Autoboot, who is having an amazing season. Now Zenak puts the FFX to the ground. Santos with only 2 players to fight against 4 players from Corinthians. Zenak and Gelo coming over. Fawn puts Gelo to the ground and Autoboot puts Zenak. They bring the fight back to Santos. It is a good moment for Santos, but Hazuri is trying to rush. Autoboot putting Hazuri to the ground. Now Autoboot is dealing with Ozado. Ozado puts Autoboot to the ground, and it's a mano fight for Fawn and Ozado. Ozado got the information on Fawn. 2 players dealing with themselves, mano. Fawn tried to use the ice, but Ozado brought it back and sent Santos back to the lobby. Corinthians getting the 4 kills, 3 on the hands of Ozado. The top killer for the season is making it rain, Carol.
And they finished the last weekend being in front of MTS, and right now he's going for the MVP trophy, Marcelo.
And who is going for something is Pen Gaming going for Fluxo over there, trying to find the players from Fluxo. And we see Kaique dealing with 2 players over there, but he's sent to the ground. And now Pen Gaming has to deal with it. He goes to the floor and only Black 0-0 remaining. Furia joined the party and got lots of kills in the middle of that battle. We see that Team 1 is also trying to engage into this fight, and Corinthians is sent back to the lobby. Yan finished off Ozado, and now Pen Gaming also goes back because of a grenade launcher shot by Fak. Fluxo getting some kills out of Pen Gaming as well. Japa BKR goes to the ground because Team 1 is trying to engage. Quali put Japa BKR to the ground. It was Team Codasolid. And now Vichin puts Japa BKR to the ground once again. We see Team 1 carefully trying to engage, not breaking the ice over there to keep themselves safe. Not only the Fluxo players, and Gus with the grenades. Oh, look at Cias! In the middle of the ISIS. He finds the Kobe and puts 2 players to the ground. Drizzy doing an amazing job with the grenade launcher. Puts 3 players from Fluxo to the ground. Vichin puts Cias back on the ground again. Now Fluxo having to deal with all players on the ground. Fuck healing himself. He's the only player still alive for Fluxo. The information from VTRX is that he's inside of the house, and Azai goes to the ground, but Team 1 eliminates Fluxo. Nice play by VTRX and Azai engaging into this fight, sandwiching Fak inside the house, and Fluxo is back on the lobby. Team 1 doing a good job in this battle. It's good to see Team 1 doing an amazing job, but Lobato puts Rafa X back to the lobby, and R7 puts a bullet on that God's Watermelon before engaging into a fight against 2 teams at the same time. We see Mamute holding, waiting for the B4 players to lose their spot of advantage as they are fighting against Vivo KEYD as well. We see Furia fighting against Team Codasolid, who is dealing with Vivo KEYD as well. And Quali was sent down because of the danger zone, because of the gas. Mamute trying to find a good spot to fight against before, and Team Codasolid is all wiped out at the same time. What happened to Team Codasolid? 5 teams remaining. Nando 9 puts Bielgard to the floor, and VTRX steals the kill. Team 1 doing a good job taking the kills. They put a player to the ground, but Furia puts Team 1 back on the lobby, and Modestia joins and sends Memgard to the lobby as well. We see Mamute trying to find a good place to fight against before. We have 4 teams remaining. Those 2 teams, Los Grandes and before, we have Furia and we have Vivo KEYD. Juan puts Mamute to the ground. And now Los Grandes is fighting with a whole squad from before. Mamute is back on the lobby. They have BL and Gus to fight this fight. 11 players remaining. We see 1-9 still remaining for Furia. Gus in BL4. Los Grandes and Vivo KEYD and B4 with the whole squad, and Modestia rotating and fighting Juan, putting Juan to the ground. What gives Vivo KEYD an amazing advantage to fight this last team fight. They are the only team with the full squad to try to get to the end of the safe zone. And Modestia using the safe zone to hide and fighting the players from before. Lobato and Iago trying to find him, but Modestia is sent to the ground because Lobato used the Balbao and found him. Gus to the floor. Nice job by General, but the kill is stolen. He gets the takedown on Lobato as well, and B4 is back on the lobby. The only player remaining is for Los Grandes, and Nando 9 settles it. It's Booyah! Vivo KEYD! As FURIA did last week, they got the 1000 kill and they get the Booyah in the same game. Amazing play by Vivo KEYD, controlling the match, being the protagonists of the whole match and guaranteeing 12 more points with the Booyah, Carol.
Exactly. Vivo KEYD, that we saw that they were well positioned in the late stages of the game. We didn't see what happened in fields, but we saw they were killing each one of the teams. Pain Gamer were still alive, FURIA team were still alive, but Vivo KEYD set the best of the strategy and got this Booyah against B4 and Los Grandes. But I like to point it out about Los Grandes that Los Grandes, they were waiting for the right moment to take an action, which was very good for them. They finished the round with 13 points. I think it was 13 points, and in the second place, which show us that they wanted to be back in the game, and we will have the confirmation about the points right now. Vivo KEYD in the first place with 21 points, which is excellent points for the first place, but followed by Los Grandes with, like I said, a very also a strategy to wait, to be calm, and be sure to the right time to get in action. And also we have B4 that it's starting the day very good as well in the third place. But what surprised me here, Marcelo, is Team 1 going against Fluxo team and winning.
Winning against Fluxo team and holding themselves in the fight for the top 4 teams. They were engaging into this fight to maybe win the game, and that leads Team 1 to tie with God Unidas.
Wow.
They tied with God Unidas in the rankings, and they are leaving the last place on our tables with 1 more point. And now we see that Corinthians needed to score a little better, and that helps Vivo KEYD. And that's a celebration also for SS Esports, for Loud, for Team Codasolid, for the teams that are fighting against Corinthians for the top of the tables. It's tough. It's not easy for us to see Corinthians with only 5 points in a map, right, Carol?
No, not really. But it still was really good for them against Santos, because I was just checking our info kit right here, and says that Santos is the best team in Purgatory, and see them losing for Corinthians, which is kind of normal for us watching Corinthians winning battles. I mean, they are the top 1 in our table, but like you said, it is also such a shame for them only scoring 5 points and let Vivo KEYD also get close of their points. But again, Netshoes Miners is starting the fight being so weak, let the other teams made of them a target, right? So
Indeed.
Probably the teams will come easily for Netshoes Miners in the early stages of the game, because they know they are not good to apply a good battle in the beginning.
And you know what, Carol? Watching the rankings for Purgatory in this season, B4 has now taken the place from Santos as the best team in Purgatory because of the points that they scored. They are the teams scoring the most points in Purgatory, and that leads us to what we have on the tables right now, before taking the spot from Team Codasolid in the 4th place. However, Vivo KEYD getting to the fight. They were 72 points behind Corinthians in the start of the day. It's now 58. It's still a large margin. Yes, it is, but it's way smaller. And they took the place of top killers for the season
Yeah.
with 202 kills.
And by the end of the day, anything can happen. We don't know. It depends a lot, of course, by the performance of Corinthians in the map, because if they keep getting good, they will still open gaps ahead of the other teams. But if they don't have a very good performance, Vivo KEYD will get closer and closer because they have less points against SS Sports right now, and probably Marcelo, they will end the day. By the end of the day, they will be in the second place, which we saw that the same performance of them in the first week. But look at Los Grandes. Los Grandes started the day in the 12th place in our table, and they climb with the more 13 points. They climb back again to the 10th place, and let's see if they will connect their game here today. And they only got one booyah. Let's see if they will get another booyah. Of course, I don't want to be the kiss of that for them.
And we see that there are two teams trying to leave the blocks that they were fitting in by the start of the day. We see Vivo KEYD leaving that second block that started with Loud before Team Codasolid, the teams that were compressed between the 425 points up until the 400 points, and trying to engage and join the top group of Corinthians and SS Esports, and Los Grandes trying to leave that third block of the teams fighting for the 12th place to maybe engage against the teams on the second block, right, Carol?
Yes, that was perfectly, Marcelo. But what is more perfectly right now? Can you say?
Some water.
I
Water
love
is
it.
perfect. Hydrating is perfect. And we will be back in just 1 minute. As we have the ice protecting players from INTZ, but SS Esports is trying to rush in. But On finds the first takedown, and now the players from SS Esports MTS getting the triple kill and wiping out the whole INTZ squad.
One time left, right, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night.
We are back live, and we have all the players over here trying to discuss what will be the strategies for Kalahari, a map that is being dominated by Corinthians. And Carol, it seems that we have I hear voices in my head. I hear
it.
voices in my head. They
Sing it.
come to me, they understand. And we are clear to take off. Let's hit the skies. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R13D2, heading straight to Kalahari Desert. This is your Captain Marcelo Ferrantini, and my co-pilot Carol Bombshell invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, cause it's time to drop, Carol!
Indeed, it's time to drop, and we are heading straight to Kalahari map, the hottest map in Free Fire Brazilian League. We have this personal confrontation against Metagame
And look at
FURIA.
Zenak going to the ground with a nice flick shot by Lost, who gets the first blood in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Zenak, man, Zenak, don't turn your back on players shooting at you, for Christ's sake, Zenak.
Well, what Metagame did right now was definitely correct, because one of their players were being damaged by Corinthians players, and very quickly Lost got a kill over the other player from Corinthians team, which was Zenak, sent all the way back to the lobby, which will kind of slow a little bit the game of Corinthians, because right now they have to survive with only 3 players, but we know that Corinthians has no problems in Kalahari map, which is one of their best maps here so far. They got amazing Booyah, best team. I mean, they are the best team this season in Kalahari map. At least 178 points were made there, Marcelo.
Yeah, and they need to settle that advantage in Kalahari, but that opens up metagaming to try to rush against Corinthians. They know the positioning from Corinthians, and they know that they have only 3 players, and that allows metagaming to maybe try to engage into an early fight against Corinthians, send them back to the lobby with no points, gather those 4 points that they need, and we know that metagaming is fighting to increase a little in their rankings for the season. They started the day in the 14th place. They want to get to the top 12, and that might be a good idea for metagaming to try to engage against Corinthians, right?
Yes, exactly. Which we saw that metagame in Purgatory, at least they come for Netshoes Miners. They don't think twice, and they get the first guns and they go to Netshoes Miners. And right now is definitely a great opportunity for them to come for Corinthians. But Marcelo, let's see what before game will change right now, since Santos is also playing here today. Santos that decided to dominate the refinery cow against before, and before had great results as well in their new drop here in Kalahari. But let's see if that will, because Santos is playing today, let's see if that will make a little bit of difference in their game.
And it seems that before is now playing the more settled game after they changed their drop call in the middle of the last week against Santos, but they had the whole week to practice this new drop call in Kalahari. It probably will bring better results for before right now, as we had last week. They had the time to practice between Saturday and Monday, and that worked out. They had an amazing Monday in Kalahari map. Not starting the game, dropping in the refinery, but rotating to the refinery at the end of the game and scoring 24 points, even though they didn't get the Booyah, right, Carol?
And I tell you what, Marcelo, only one of the 13 Booyahs of before were in Kalahari, which is kind of, it is a little bit funny. It's a little bit
funny. This feeling inside. I love this song.
Even myself, I'm triggering myself. But anyway, only one of the
I'm
Booyahs.
telling you, you're a trigger.
Only one of the 13 Booyahs of before were made in Kalahari. But last week, they were in the 2nd place in Kalahari with great points, right?
Great points, 24 points for them in the first Kalahari map of the day. But look at VTR trying to take that god, and he gets that god back to the lobby. And now Vivo KEYD might be the one going from Booyah to bottom.
What's going on with Team 1 today, Marcelo?
Team 1 doing a good job trying to protect their drop call against Vivo KEYD, and Drizzy goes back to the ground. And it seems that Team 1 woke up to the season, trying to get the points they need not to get to leave the relegation zone. And now they are ahead of God Unidas. They are not anymore in the last place. They got the kill against the Vivo KEYD player, and they are not the last team on the rankings anymore. Finally, Team 1 leaving the last place on our rankings. God Unidas is the one that goes to the last placement in our rankings, and we know that God Unidas is the only team who ain't had a day with more than 40 points up until right now.
Exactly. Which makes me very happy for Team 1 right now, because they can fight at least to get away from the relegation zone, and they are scoring points over God, which will be very mad at home today. And talking about metagame and Corinthians, metagame is right. They really decided to come for Corinthians.
They went to Corinthians, and now we see Fluxo also going for Penguin, but Japa BKR taking some some damage over there, and KEYD engaging against the two players that were climbing up, and Black 0-0 putting CS and got killed to the floor. Got killed is back on the lobby. Still no bro for Fluxo. We saw that he didn't play last week and he's not playing this week as well. We see got killed taking the place, and KEYD trying to find the placement around the ice, but Japa BKR puts Black 0-0 to the floor. KEYD trying to rotate to save its teammates, and Leal is doing that job as well, and you see Japa BKR once again putting Black 0-0 to the ground. The ice is coming up, but the grenade! The grenade eliminating the whole Pain Gaming squad. Oh my god, see us! Go B for you, my man!
And it is him, Cias again. Cias that we already saw doing great action with grenade. He's coming with the grenade again.
He is doing an amazing job. He might leave Free Fire. He might retire from Free Fire right now to join the NBA. Because the job that he's doing with the grenades is amazing, Carol.
It is indeed amazing, Marcelo. Which we have this we can see that in comparison with Esports, that INTZ is also a really good guy with the grenades, which makes a lot of difference for a team. Have someone that manages so good not only the guns but the other things like grenade launcher and the grenades right now.
I just wanted to ask Cias one thing.
What is that?
If he could take off that clown backpack that he's wearing, because I have chorophobia. That's phobia of clowns.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're joking.
Yeah, I do have it.
I have never heard about that.
It's called chorophobia. Chorophobia.
That's interesting. I never heard someone.
Yeah, I had
it's
trouble
kind of
in a
funny.
few workstations I had, because my friends used to change my screensaver for the picture of a clown, and I could not open my PC. When I moved my mouse, there was a picture of a scary clown, and I had to ask someone to open my PC for me. And now we see Nando9 trying to run, and Gelo sends him to the ground. We see General trying to go back and save Nando9 over there, but it seems that Nando will not be able to bring it back, as Modestia goes to the ground as well, and Vivo KEYD will not have points in their name for this map. Only if General makes it rain against Corinthians. Two players already down in this fight for Vivo KEYD, and they had a player going down against Metagaming, and now they have only one player remaining, and now Santos using the higher ground from the refinery to try to fight Metagaming. We see that the top-down view is helping Fawn, and he's trying to find the shots on Lost, and Kawe was sent to the ground and sent back to the lobby by Rush. Fawn trying to gather information over there. Dudu boosting him to allow the better view. We see Autobot and Rush flanking Metagaming right now. And if Metagaming tries to advance, Santos will sandwich them in between those four players. That will make the fight tougher and tougher for Metagaming. Not a good placement for Metagaming. The best that they could do right now is retreat, right, Carol?
Yes, I would definitely not think twice and retrieve myself, because there's still 11 teams alive. And any points counts for Metagaming right now, that is having this fight in the middle of the table. And if they wanted to keep themselves at least in the place they stands right now, if they wanted to come back at least, I'm sorry, because they started in the 14th place, so it is definitely they need a point.
And we see now Mamute putting Gelo back to the lobby with a nice shot. And now Hazuri having to deal with Gus over there. Rafaex also well positioned. Ousado and Hazuri, the two players remaining for Corinthians. Corinthians with, once again, not a good map as we expected from them. Hazuri and Ousado trying to keep themselves alive. Gelo and Zenak already sent back to the lobby. Zenak was the first blood for this match against Lost from Metagaming. He took a headshot and didn't cope well with that information. He got sad and left the game after that headshot.
He's definitely sad, having a headache. He's going to for some ibuprofen right now because the teams that are not definitely going for ibuprofen, which makes me happy for now. It's just Netshoes Miners is still alive. They are definitely doing a safe game. And
Iago found Vitin somewhere
Not
in the
for
map.
so
We
long.
see that Vitin is now crawling in my skin. These ones they will. I forgot the lyrics. But Vitin took it
Yeah,
personally and laid down in pain against B4. The B4 players fighting from below, and Mamute sends back to the ground as well with a nice headshot. Vitin trying to hold this advance from Los Grandes, and he puts B out to the ground, and the grenade launcher now putting Mamute to the ground as well. 2 players down for Los Grandes, who is trying to cross the bridge but is having trouble because the safe zone is already engulfing them. Vitin sends BL back to the lobby, and the grenades from Vitin also trying to find the kills over there. We see Quali and Pão already retreating. The grenade launcher kill is confirmed against Mamute. Team Codasolid getting 2 points for killing, and now they will have to deal with Netshoes Miners holding the door inside of that safe zone. Peck and Gus went down because of the safe zone and back to the lobby. But Peck seems that he can be helped by Vitin, and that's what's going to happen. Vitin helping Peck over there as you see the safe zone getting shorter and shorter. Vivo KEYD is wiped out because Lost found General somewhere on the map and sent Vivo KEYD back to the lobby. No points for positioning for Vivo KEYD. After that, Booyah.
And
From Booyah to bottom.
Yeah, and FURIA team, they are very well positioned again in Kalahari map, which we haven't seen that most of the Booyahs in Kalahari map were made also for FURIA team, Marcelo.
FURIA having a good job in Kalahari, but Fon with the top-down view. Now eliminating a player from Corinthians, it was Hazuri. And now Ousado trying to leave the safe zone. Oh, Hazuri was the one who was still alive. Ousado was taken down before, but now Hazur has only an inch of life left, and he's back on the lobby as Mem got find Cebolinha with the grenade. VN10 trying to fight against the Santos squad over there. Cebolinha is on the ground, and Netshoes Miners is closed inside of that house, and Cebolinha goes back to the lobby. As we see 1-9 trying to find the kills on Team 1 players that are above, and Santos finishes Team 1 off with nice 2 kills from Autobot. 6 teams remaining, 20 players over there, and Furia knows that Autobot is above the hills, and he's all alone. But now Fluxo having to deal with before, and look at our 7 and the grenades! Japa BKR, the last player remaining for Fluxo. He needs to keep the team alive and maybe save Cias over there, as we see Feud from Furia holding their spot, their good spot in the middle of the safe zone. And now before going after the 2 remaining players from Fluxo, Japa BKR tries to leave the ice, but they are sent back to the lobby. Nice job by before, with now 3 kills for them, 5 teams remaining. Autoboot on the top of the hills, but Dudu FFX is sent to the ground, and Santos is back on the lobby. Nice job by 1-9 using the M241 to get the kill. Furia gets 2 points, and now only 4 teams remaining, 14 players, and Netshoes Miners on top of Furia, exactly above Furia, using the ceiling from the building that they are in to keep themselves safe. And now Team Codasolid coming up with B4 as well, and Nijezinho is sent to the floor. Before trying to engage into this fight from below, as we see Vitin going down on the floor because of Natividade's grenade once again. Quali will be the wrong rotate. Look at Natividade! But Field stole a kill, and now R7 trying to find Field over there, and R7 is sent back to the lobby. B4 is wiped out. We see Pão finishing off the last player from B4, and now Furia with only Field to try to fight, as we see Peck getting to inside of the house. He has the Balbao. Field has the life remaining, and he's sent back to the lobby. And Netshoes Miners has to deal only with Peck. Pão is on the floor. 3 players from Netshoes Miners get inside of the safe zone. Wow, Natividade finds the grenade launcher, and it's Booyah! Netshoes Miners! The Kala Miners are back! They find the kill on Peck. controlling the center of the safe zone. And a nice and quiet booyah for Netshoes Miners. They needed it, Carol.
Yes, indeed. You said it, Marcelo. Cala Miners. Netshoes Miners, the team that have the best, it is the best map for them because 4 out of their 5 booyahs were made in Kalahari, so well done for them. They sure needed. We started the day watching the stay tuned video about them, that they were trying to regain their confidence here this season because they were not having great performance. But with this booyah, I'm pretty much sure, Marcelo, they have more than enough confidence right now, even I dare to say, to start fights in the early states of the game. But let's have the confirmation about their points here right now. And Netshoes Miners with okay points for the first place. They defended their call. They in the late stages of the game, they definitely get their position good defended, and they got the best results. But Team Codasolid also fight very good in the end stages of the game. Before had beautifully performance, and also FURIA team.
And those 17 points tie Netshoes Miners with INTZ with 381 points. And I don't remember how many points they did in the first map, but nice game as well by Team Codasolid, trying to engage against Vivo KEYD, who didn't score no points. Corinthians with only 4 points. Los Grandes with only 2, fighting for the 12th place. And before Team Codasolid, they are getting to the top of the standings, Carol.
Exactly, Marcelo, exactly. But who is not getting, at least in this last match, in the top, it is Vivo KEYD, like you said, from the booyah straight for the last,
from
to the
booyah
bottom.
to bottom.
To booyah to bottom.
And we have Team 1 also getting all together with Pen Gaming. They scored 7 points and now they are closing the gap. Maybe Team 1 will leave the relegation zone today, Carol. We
Well
see
done.
the guys that stood more than half of the season in the last place, maybe leaving the server today away from the relegation zone. We have the standings coming up in a few seconds for you guys to check this out. It's coming up right now, not a few seconds, but right now. And Team 1 is trying to leave the relegation zone. They are only 7 points behind Pen Gaming. They might finish the day outside of the relegation zone, and Netshoes Miners going back to the top 12. Amazing job by Netshoes Miners getting that booyah and tied with INTZ and only 3 points behind Los Grandes. That may lead them back to a safe place inside of the top 10. But look at B4 and Team Codasolid getting to the 4th and 5th place. Nice job also by Fluxo getting to the 6th place. And we know Loud still haven't played in this week. They will play tomorrow and on Monday. However, they are getting pressured by those teams that are trying to engage into this fight and probably will finish the day ahead of SS Esports and shortening the gap against Corinthians.
Yes, exactly. But it's good also to say that from the 4th place to the 9th place, where it's B4 and Santos right now, the points are very close, are very short, and anything can change at any moment. Santos can probably, in one map with one booyah. So FURIA team have the chance also to be where before is right now. Santos, Fluxo definitely can reach the points of Vivo KEYD. So things today here are very uncertain. So like I said, anything can happen. But of course, great news for Team 1. They are reaching the points of Pen Gaming. Let's see if by the end of the day they manage to be out of the relegation zone, and Los Grandes is still doing good.
And Corinthians reaching the 500 points mark. However, they only scored 10 points for the day up until right now. We see that Vivo KEYD, before Team Codasolid, Fluxo having good days, they can take that distance away from Corinthians. That safe margin that Corinthians had for the lead might run off today, Carol.
Yes, Marcelo. And I just would like to point it out about Netshoes Miners booyahs. They are also reaching the mark of 5 booyahs, and we haven't seen that most of the teams that are getting great points for the booyahs are also with good points for position. But This kind of seesaw also coming for Netshoes Miners. Explain a little bit where they goes really good in one match and really bad to another one, which would happen exactly with before in the couple past weeks. So what would it be a great strategy for those teams to keep and stick with the points, with the same amount of points they have for the Booyah?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot, about before having booyahs but not having points outside of the maps that they scored booyahs. That applies also to those teams. They need to score better when they don't get the booyahs. But what calls to my attention is how Team Codasolid improved their game, Carol. On the first 7 weeks, they scored on the first four rounds they scored 171 points alone, and in the last 4 rounds they scored 241 points. The results that they're getting are improving, and today they are having points on their names. They are doing a good job. They are getting the points they need, and it's not by mistake that they are in the top 5, right?
Definitely not by mistake. They are showing us great consistent game from the past weeks. Last week they finished Monday getting 2 booyahs. In the day they were the only team who got a double booyah, and we haven't seen that as much goes for also Nitroxx Top10, that is doing a very aggressive job. Even though Team Codasolid have a different game, they trying to also have this balance between aggressiveness and play safe. They are doing definitely an amazing job, and I'm really enjoying to watch them
But
today.
who's doing an amazing job as well is the player H2O, the water that I'm going to drink to get hydrated, to bring you more and more action for LBFF Season 5, and we'll be right back. Team Liquid has to fight against Nitroxx Top10, and before they're sandwiched. Nitroxx Top10 goes on Belzada! Belzada! Oh my god, the grenade launcher! Belzada! Is this the time? Is this the time for Team Liquid? Oh my god! The grenade launcher once again! Belzada tries! Juan tries to defend himself with the ice barriers. The grenade launcher is still in the hands of Belzada. They have to surround before. And the grenade launcher comes in, 2 players down. Is it now? Is it going to happen? R7 still in it, and it's Booyah! Team Liquid! We are back live, and the players are also ready, Carol. Are you ready, Carol?
I'm definitely ready, Marcelo. I want to go to Bermuda. We have the clear to take off?
We are cleared to take off, so let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R13D3, heading straight to Bermuda. This is your captain, Marcelo Fiorentini, and by my side, my co-pilot, Carol Bombshell, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, cause it's time to drop, Carol!
Yes, indeed, it is time to drop. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most loved map by the players, which it is Bermuda. And let's see what Netshoes Miners, FURIA Team 1, Corinthians before Team Codasolid, Fluxo Team, Santos, Pengame, Metagame, Vivo KEYD, and Los Grandes will bring for us today in Bermuda, man.
Los grandes.
Los
Los
granditos.
grandes hacedores de muertes.
Oh.
We have a multilingual transmission right now, a broadcast made with 27 languages for you guys to watch. I will be talking in Punjabi as soon as possible, as soon as I learn Punjabi.
Parla italiano
Io
também.
parlo un poco italiano. Mia famiglia è
Fancy.
italiana.
Macaron. Oh well.
Più italiano.
Pure Italiano, but talking about pills here, let's see if before will peel when they face off, when they meet with Santos, because I don't know what is going on with Before and Santos, why they have this. We have talked weeks in a row about Santos and Before, the same game they have. Probably it's because of they were a squad in the last season, right?
Parlez-vous français? Je ne parle pas.
Merci beaucoup. Ratatouille.
But we see Santos once again rotating and taking the clock tower, their usual drop call. And we got to see if Before will do that rotation and maybe try to engage against them. And if we were talking about multilingual broadcasts, if the guys on the chat wants to teach us their native languages, we'll be more than willing to learn.
Yeah, I would love to. We know that Booyah it is international, but teach us something that you do while you play Free Fire.
You tell us the names of the drop calls that you do that when you say flank. How do you say flank in your native language?
How do you say
How
flank?
do you say shoot that guy over there in your language? When you say no, don't turn your back on the fight in your language. Please
And-
teach this.
And please teach me how to to ask for your companion's attention to help you during the rounds. How do you swear?
Would you please stop running from the fight and help me shoot that guy? How do you say that in your native language? We'll be here reading the chat to get that information. That's important for us to know. The more the merrier, right? And so getting to know languages is good.
But also what is important here today, it is to know what is the best team in Bermuda map that is playing today. And we have in the third position Corinthians, but also Vivo KEYD, Los Grandes, Metagaming. But the teams with more kills that were among those ones that are playing today, it is Vivo KEYD. Vivo KEYD who already got the Booyah in Purgatory map, went from the Booyah straight for the bottom. Right now have the chance because they know how to manage Bermuda map. So let's see if they will also bring the Booyah in this third map, and we will have our first double Booyah here today.
And I'm reading the chats to bring the guys to our broadcast. And Rosette Ajadé asked, what does LBFF means? LBFF means Brazilian Free Fire League.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Brazilian Free Fire League. Hope you guys all enjoy it around here. And we see that Team 1 is trying to rotate, and Santos trying to leave the danger zone, but they might meet with Pain Gaming or Vivo KEYD or Meta Gaming. Santos in a bad position right now to try to rotate, and we see FURIA also rotating, but to the same spot that Team 1 is right now.
And actually, FURIA, they go to the observatory call, and they have different rotations in the map. And right now, I'm thinking why they decided to go straightly to Graveyard and Bull Eyes, knowing there is Team 1 over there. But another thing that I wanted to say, it is say hi to India, because I also got a few spots here in our broadcast, and this guy saying hello from India. So hello
India. Please
And
tell
welcome.
us how to say hello in your native languages as well, as we know that India has more than one dialect, and they use the English language as well as one of their native languages. Please tell us in your district, in your region, what language is being spoken, what is your native language, and how to say hello in your native language.
I would love to.
so we can say hello to anyone coming to the chat.
And also tell us, for each team that you know here in Brazil you are cheering for, which is your fan base.
And now we see Cauê trying to find the Santos players coming from above, coming from the hills. And we see the cameras from the metagaming players as well inside of their gaming house, as we see EGZ putting a player down, and that might be the first blood for the match, as we expect this fight between metagaming and Santos to happen. And I'm sending a shout out to Algivan.
And we are from Brazil.
We are from Brazil. We are bringing you the Brazilian Free Fire League with 18 teams fighting for the spot of the best team in Brazil right now. And we see that General is trying to gather some information. They are watching the players from Santos trying to rotate. They might engage into the fight. Santos might get sandwiched between Vivo KEYD and Metagaming.
And Vivo KEYD, which I already said, they got the best performance from the teams that are playing today in Bermuda map. They are also trying to relocate themselves in a place where they can get a great spot in the late stage of the game, which seems like, I didn't see the whole map, but it seems like it's going to be around Poshinok, around Cotatua, because we already see Metagaming, Netshoes Miners, and also Corinthians that came from Santos. Will them bring this fight against Netshoes Miners right now? Because I don't think Netshoes Miners are aware about Corinthians. Or will them dominating the hill, which I really like this position of Corinthians right now when I'm playing Free Fire in the late stages of the game happening around there in Cotatua. I like to be in the same spot where Corinthians teams right now, because I got the overtop view, and also I got a great spot to defend myself. Great cover.
But if they want to rotate, they will have to deal with Netshoes Miners coming from the Booyah in the last map. And Carol, we reached the 8.5-minute mark and still no kills in this map. The teams are playing the more careful and the more strategic game, right?
And actually, not even the first blood happened yet. And the first blood, the quickest first blood here in the Free Fire Brazilian League was in the hand of Autoboot this season, and only took 1 minute. In 8 minutes so far,
9 minutes right now.
9 minutes so far, no first blood, not even players back in the lobby with the whole squad. So it seems like, Marcelo, maybe it can happen right now.
Maybe it can happen right now, because FURIA engaged against Los Grandes over the bridge, and now they are trying to get some cover. They tried to trample the whole squad from Los Grandes, but now they have to deal with it inside of the ice. We see the mini grenade launchers trying to do some damage for FURIA, but the grenades are also coming in from Los Grandes. Rafa X using the grenades, and the players are engaging into the fight in the middle of the bridge, and Memgod finds the grenade on Mamouchi and finds the grenade on BL, and look at Gus doing a machine gun of grenades, and 1-9 puts Rafa X to the ground, and Gus trying to help from afar, but he is being targeted by Memgod, taking the shots, and Los Grandes get all wiped out! 1-9 and Memgod doing an amazing job! 3 kills with the grenades. Memgod, Kobe for you, my man!
What Memgod did right now, it is spectacular, because we know that Memgod is the best of the best assistants in Free Fire Brazilian League history, Marcelo. And Hadouken!
Hadouken!
He's definitely doing the Hadouken.
Hadouken! We know that Street Fighter is having a partnership with
they have
Free
a collab.
Fire as of right now, a collaboration. And Memgod got the Hadouken, especially for yours truly, the broadcast fan of Street Fighter.
But I'm more a fan of a fight. Fluxo team and team 1 for you guys.
And now we see Godkill trying to find the shots on team 1, who's trying to defend their drop call in Poshinok, and they're running away from Japa BKR, turning its back on the fight and getting to a dangerous position, but Japa BKR goes to the ground. The double vector working for VTRX, but Godkill gets 2 players to the ground. He now can rotate and fight from afar, as two players from Team 1 are on the ground, and Drizzy trying to engage against Godkill to give the advantage back to Team 1, but Godkill putting one more player down, as we have Vivo KEYD and B4 also fighting in another side of the map. And now Godkill doing his job, sending the whole squad from Team 1 back to the lobby. Now a bad game from Team 1, when they needed the most their good game. But Vivo KEYD engaging against B4 and Santos coming as well. That old rivalry between B4 and Santos getting lightened up once again. We see that Iago is trying to fight from afar, and Modestia trying to recover some of their health, and now having to deal with that guy rushing towards him, and Juan is on the floor. Iago will not have the time to help Juan over there as he tries to escape from that guy. But Nando 9 with the sniper rifle with the flick shot to send them back to the lobby. Nice job by that guy and Nando 9 getting the kills. And Garo answered us. Garo said that for us to say hello, how are you in Hindi, that is his native language, you say Namaste, aap kaise ho?
Aap kaise ho?
Did we pronounce it correctly?
Nice, I like it. Really, I really enjoying to watch to learn that from you guys. So keeping us very tuned about your language, and tell us why you're watching Free Fire Brazilian League, because I know you guys also enjoy to watch the game style from Brazil. But Marcelo, I just would like to point it out about Nando from Vivo KEYD and Mem God from FURIA team. Once again, we are seeing that they are assistants. The guys that give the support for the team are getting more kills over the frontliners, for example. Which is amazing, right?
The meta game for Free Fire is changing a lot.
Definitely. He said we did right.
Yeah. But now we see that Santos engaging against Fluxo. Fluxo trying to climb the hill, but they have to deal with the 4 players from Santos, and it seems that Fluxo already lost a player. We have Godkill, Fak, and CS coming over, but we see no Japa BKR.
Japa BKR, who also have more damage for Fluxo team, are now back in the lobby, which is kind of going to slow a little bit their game, right?
But who is not slowing is Metagaming, trying to trample FURIA on the end of the bridge. But look at the grenade from CS putting the FFX to the ground. We know that they have to deal with Santos and with Metagaming, and Metagaming getting kills over there, and now Lost trying to find 1-9, and 1-9 will go back to the floor and back to the lobby, but he took back a player with him. Nando 9, Vivo KEYD still with 6 kills already, doing a good job to get the points, and Santos is sent back to the lobby. Now Metagaming will be the team who will have to deal with Vivo KEYD, but Ian finds the head of Nando 9 and sends him back to the lobby. Now only Modestia and that got alive, but we know that Vivo KEYD, all players from Vivo KEYD, all the players from the starting lineup for Vivo KEYD have more than 40 kills in this season, doing a good job splitting the kills. Vivo KEYD, even though General is leading with the top kills, we saw Nando 9 reach the top 5, we saw that God reach the top 5, and we saw General reaching the top 5, but Modestia also doing a good job, as we see Corinthians trying to fight the players from Netshoes Miners. That fight happening once again inside of the house. Hazur trying to rotate his activity outside, and the grenade from Ousado using the grenade launcher. And look at Ousado! He blew himself, and we love when players blow himself. Lucias! Cias! What are you doing? Go BCS getting to the 6 kills! Putting Fluxo back on the game with 11 kills! Oh my God, CS!
Dang. What CS did right now was an amazing, which is kind of things that we already expected to see him, but it's still one player left from Corinthians, so it's going to be a mano-mano fight.
And now EGzinho is back to the lobby, and the Netshoes Miners are all wiped out. And we see Hazur trying to find CS over there. He will be forced to jump from the house, and CS did not see it. Oh, he saw it. And 7 kills for CS. keeping Fluxo alive. 5 teams remaining against each other and 10 players. Only 10 players.
Metagame with the full squad. Metagame who is showing us today a very consistent, aggressive game. They are not avoiding any battles and they know how to position themselves in.
Boom with the grenade launcher. He sends one player from Pain Gaming, but he sends him back to the lobby. And look at Cias getting the kills. Cias is still getting the kills. Where is that man? And what is that man doing? Insane game by Cias right now.
He's probably will come back to the MVP list by the end of the day, Marcelo. I
And
tell you
look
what.
at the positioning from Cias, trying to get the players from Team Codasolid who are having to deal, now only one player having to deal with the 2 squads on the top of the hills. And Cias is only there to steal kills. And he's doing an amazing job on that, because we see that metagaming players are trying to come for the last Team Codasolid player remaining, that is Quali. And Cias is still on inside of that house and now taking damage because of the safe zone, as we see Modestia also coming to the game and doing an amazing job.
What?
Cias was sent back to the lobby finally, and now Modestia gets down because of the safe zone. Quali trying to find the shots, and he puts Cian to the ground. Once again, Team Codasolid fighting for the top 2. As we see Quali fighting all by himself. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Booyah Team Codasolid! Oh my god, Quali!
What the heck? Not even them are they believing
They don't
themselves.
believe it! What is going on? Quali found the shots and the safe zone did their jobs. Quali gets the quadra kill and the booyah to Team Codasolid. Oh my god!
Wow. I'm speechless right now, Marcelo, because Metagame was the only team alive. There were Vivo KEYD with 1 player, Fluxo team with 1 player, and Team Codasolid with the last player alive. Metagame got the full squad, their game in their hands, but because they were fighting inside of the unsafe zone and Modestia took the last few shots, helped Team Codasolid to get the booyah.
Oh my god, unbelievable booyah by Team Codasolid. I didn't know what to say when the booyah happened. When I saw Quali alive and the header saying Metagaming wiped out, what a messed up play by Metagaming.
Exactly.
We have to say it. They messed up badly.
Exactly, they did. That's the thing. They lost the chance to get the booyah. They lost the chance to be in the 2nd place and in the 1st place because their bad performance.
Their bad decision making inside of
the unsafe zone. I mean, what the heck? But still, with 8 points for killing, only in the hands of Cias right now, Marcelo, 20 points for Fluxo team, which is kind of the booyah.
Cias did an amazing job, did an incredible job, but we have to say the MVP for the whole match was Quali. He just kept himself alive. He was the MVP by doing the least that he needed to do, keep himself alive.
Exactly.
And now, before with only 2 points, we'll get trampled in the qualification by Team Codasolid. Santos is not getting closer to them. Corinthians scored only 6 points and Team Codasolid is getting to them. The newcomers are being helped by this result right now in more ways than one. They get their 5th booyah. That is important because the teams on the top are fighting with 6 booyahs, except for SS Esports, who leads the season with 8 booyahs. But that came from nowhere. That win came from nowhere to Team Codasolid.
Yes, that's how I felt when the booyah happened. Oh my god.
What is going on?
I couldn't believe my eyes either, Marcelo. But the thing is, was a great performance from Quali, from Team Codasolid. Of course, all congratulations for him. But the booyah only happened for him because the bad strategy, the bad positionment of Metagaming.
The bad positioning.
I mean, they got the number for the advantage number, Marcelo.
They had the full squad
They
to
messed
try
up.
to take to take quality alone, I was ready to shout Booyah Metagaming.
Exactly.
It was clear for me that Metagaming was getting that Booyah.
The thing is, they got the last player from Fluxo team, which was Cias. They sent him back to the lobby. But they were not aware about Modestia from Vivo KEYD, and Modestia did his part. He messed up with the metagame. Game, of course, bothered them a little bit in the late stages of the game because probably they didn't know about the numbers from Vivo KEYD, which they can also train themselves to know, to counting, because they know about how many players they can see in their screen how many players are still alive in the game. But because Modestia appeared in that moment, that definitely messed up with their head.
But Carol, I have to say, what Modestia did no good to Vivo KEYD. They gave points to Team Codasolid, who is now climbing the rankings and getting closer and closer to Vivo KEYD.
Yeah.
They are only 7 points behind Vivo KEYD right now, and if they get one more Booyah, they will take the 3rd place and maybe even the 2nd place. The newcomers are doing an amazing job, but look at Fluxo as well, getting to the 5th place, and before, who did not have a good match right now, fell down to the 6th place, but they are having a good day today.
Yeah, like I said before, who were in the last match standing in the 4th place to the 4th place until the 9th place, where Santos is right now, the points were very short. It were so close that definitely with one match could change everything, and so it did with Team Codasolid. And Marcelo, I'm very happy to see a team that came straightly from the 2nd division of Free Fire standing right now among the top 5.
And Carol, what a day that Team Codasolid is having.
What a day. They probably this is the 30th match that happened. We still have 3 more to come, but they probably will appear in the highlights of the day, Marcelo.
They will probably show up in the highlights of the day, indeed, because if I'm not mistaken, it's their 3rd top 3 finish in the day. If I'm not wrong, they finished in the 3rd place in Purgatory, the 2nd place in Kalahari, and now they get the Booyah in Purgatory. And I'm still speechless of what Metagaming did. They sent Team Codasolid straight to the top 4, close to Vivo KEYD, close to SS Esports. The newcomers might try to take the lead from Corinthians.
Yeah, they even mess up with the opportunity to be in the top 10 right now.
10?
Who would say?
If they got the Booyah, they would score 2 more points, and they will be ahead of INTZ. 3 more points because they will have the kill on quali. And they would be ahead of INTZ, maybe fighting against Los Grandes for the 11th place. I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Definitely.
And we have to talk about the other teams. We see that Corinthians still with a tough day. We know that Corinthians is the only team who scored at least 40 points in all rounds that they've been through, and today they are not getting away ahead of the 6 points, 5 points mark, right, Carol?
Exactly, Marcelo. But I'm very excited to see what will happen in the next rounds, because this Booyah that came from Team Codasolid, it was something that I already expected to watch today, because they were very close to get the Booyah. They are showing, like I said, this balance between aggressiveness and to play the safe game. But also meta game, even though they mess up with this last Booyah, they are very close also to get the Booyah. So let's see if in the next 3 rounds we will get a Booyah from meta game. We will also get a Booyah from teams that I started day betting today, Santos before. Anything can happen here today, right?
Anything can happen, but one thing that has to happen is we take a break to digest what just happened and to hydrate as well. So we will be right back. Lucas Kawan went for it, did not expect FURIA players to come over and try to take safe haven on the danger zone, and the fight is happening. Lucas Kawan trying to rotate. finding Belgado. Belgado got out of ammo, and the bullets come in, and Aranha put Belgado to the floor. But 1-9 with the scythe! 1-9 with the scythe! The One Punch Man came through! FURIA finds the 2 kills with the scythe from 1-9! Amazing play by the Saitama!
One time left, right, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night. One time, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night. One time left, right, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night. One time left, right, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night. One time left, right, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night. One time, knock him out. Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock Two times, knock him out. Knock him out with the left, knock him out with the right. Knock him out, knock him out, knock him out for the night.
We are back live. We are back live. Yeah, we are back live. And Carol will say, what does she expect from the fourth map? We're back to Bermuda. And Carol, what do you say?
I expect, Marcelo, a double booyah right now. It took so long. Right now we are heading to the fourth map. And
Not Bermuda, Purgatory.
Purgatory map, because we are starting all over again, Marcelo. So, Marcelo, I'm expecting a double booyah. Will be Vivo KEYD, will be Team Codasolid, or will be before? Before?
I just believe that Team Codasolid will get a double booyah today. They were lucky enough to get their first booyah, and they need their second booyah by their own efforts. So, what takes effort? Do you know what takes effort?
What is
to
that?
lift up a plane because we're clear to take off. So let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, heading from the flight R13D4, heading straight to Purgatory. This is your captain, Marcelo Ferrantini, and by my side, my co-pilot, Carol Boomshell, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, because it's time to drop, Carol!
Yes, indeed, it is time to drop, Marcelo, and I'm very excited to start all over again. And we are heading to Purgatory map, which it is personal my favorite one when I'm playing Free Fire. Of course, I don't have the same desire as this player right here to win.
I prefer Kalahari. I like Kalahari.
I don't like Kalahari at all. But I
Fights
like
going
Purgatory. And fights going on against Los Grandes.
And Mamouchi gets the first blood from the B4 team. It seems that before, if they want the booyah, they will have to work harder and harder to get it. As we see that Brasilia once again is being contested, and Metagaming sent a player from Netshoes Miners as well back to the lobby. The fourth map of the day started dangerously and quickly for those teams inside Brasilia, and we know that Brasilia is a place where bad things happen.
Bad.
Around here in Free Fire.
In Free Fire, in Brazil. Anyway, Marcelo, we started seeing that my favorite map was Purgatory, your favorite map is Kalahari, and I want to know the people they are watching us right now. Which is your favorite map? What is that?
Bring us. I thought that you were going to ask. I want to know. Have you ever seen the rain? I want to know. Have you ever seen the rain?
But I want to know what is the best team here in Purgatory, which I already know. I'm just joking, you guys, because it is Santos. Rio Santos is the best team in Purgatory, but they had lost against Corinthians. There were this mano-a-mano fight, Fon and Ousado, and Ousado got the best shot over Fon, of course.
And now before took the lead from Santos after that first good map that they had for the day. But Santos indeed started the day as the best team in Purgatory, Carol. And they might want to take it back once again, right?
And I want to know...
Have you ever
seen why Santos didn't go for Brasilia right now? Because they usually go to Brasilia as well, right?
And they got a change in their lineups. PH or PH, as we say here in Brazil, joining the fight in place of Rush. And Santos, a team that is not used to those changes in their lineups, but there
is a change I want to see, Marcelo.
That's a change I want to see because Santos...
No, there is one change I want to see.
Which one?
Maelin.
I want to see Maelin. Bring Maelin. Take PH off. Bring Maelin. I want Maelin.
We want Maelin.
But that is indeed a change that I want to see, Carol, because Santos has lost a little bit of their power in the last rounds that they've played. They were having an amazing mid-season, and they stepped a little bit on the brakes as of right now, but they already got a kill against Netshoes Miners No, it was Meta Gaming that got a kill against Netshoes Miners, but it seems that Netshoes Miners still have problems dealing with early fights, right?
Yes, Netshoes Miners are really trying to adapt themselves into the early fight, which they haven't connected yet, and they will probably have trouble right now, Marcelo, because FURIA team already spotted them, and FURIA team, as much it is the same off meta game, they don't avoid any fights.
They don't avoid fights, and they might try to get to Netshoes Miners. They know that Netshoes Miners have less players than them. They have the numbers advantage to fight against Netshoes Miners, and they are making Netshoes Miners run for their lives from the fire brigade over there. And the shots are coming in from MGod, the player who leads FURIA in kills and in damage for the season. The sniper rifler assistant player, MGod, doing a great job. But now we see Team Codasolid fighting the Los Grandes squad, and I like that feist from Team Codasolid, not avoiding fights, going for fights, trying to get their points early in the game for them to only worry about positioning by the end of the game.
Which is kind of risk, right? We know that is any kind of battle in the early stages of the game, it is a risk because we don't get any points for positioning the bottom. But it's still knowing that Team Codasolid comes with this great confidence and have this fight against Los Grandes, which don't stand really good in our table right now. If I were in Team Codasolid, I would definitely not avoid this battle and will definitely go for it against Los Grandes, Marcelo. And I will score a hell of points over them.
And we gotta shout out the coach from Team Codasolid.
Croft, I love you.
Croft is doing a great job preparing the strategies for this team to reach.
And it's
the
a
top
she,
three.
because it's a
she,
girl.
it's a girl. And now we have Santos trying to engage against Fluxo, a battle of two teams that need to improve their games today. Fluxo had a good map of Bermuda, and now they might try to capitalize on that in Purgatory.
And probably they already had a few shots against Santos, because we can see some icy barrels over there. And like Marcelo said, Fluxo team needs really improve their game right now. No Brew, who were the MVP in 2019 of the Free Fire World Series, it's not playing since last week because we got the information that he can make to the practice. But the good team that had a great development last week is playing here today, not having a great development today.
But now we see Team Codasolid getting engaged by Los Grandes, and Vitin puts Gus to the ground, but Rafa-X brings it back and sends back to sleep. Rafa-X trying to get to the players from Los Grandes, but look at Gus and Rafa-X confirming the kills as Dust is sent to the floor by Pão. We see Pão and Quali, the lunch duo, trying to hold themselves up, but Gus once again with the grenade doing an amazing job, putting Pão to the floor. Vitin running for his life as Quali tried to save Pão, but Vitin gets once again a takedown on Dust, and it seems that Team Codasolid will do this. Will do the booyah to bottom once again as Vitin is the last player eliminated, and Team Codasolid goes from booyah to bottom.
From booyah to bottom again. It's happening a lot, right, with the players, the teams that are getting booyahs today. And I said that I would definitely come and not avoid this battle against Los Grandes, but also Los Grandes, they are trying, they are doing so hard, making a lot of effort to score points, and they didn't avoid the battle as well. Which is the contrary of Netshoes Miners, that they avoid the battles because they prioritize the positions. But Los Grandes is a very aggressive team, which comes right with the hungry for the kills.
And they're hungry for kills, led them to a better positioning for the fights, right, Carol? They got the plays from Team Codasolid, and now they can deal with the teams coming in. They can deal with the teams out of position, trying to do their rotations, and getting caught by surprise by Los Grandes right now. And that was a team that started the season as one of the best teams for the first 2 weeks, for the first 4 rounds, and then they lost their gas, they lost their fuel in their tank, but maybe they can bring it back.
Yes, and I'm pretty much sure they will manage at least to finish these qualifications rounds inside of the top 12, because we'll be very sad if for some reason they come back for the relegation zone and be back to the Serie B, which they fought a lot to be back here in the Serie A. But who is definitely fighting to not to fall, Marcelo, it is Pen Gaming. Pen Gaming that also, it is the first team here right now after before to have the highest score in one round. Show us that they have the guts, anything that they need to be in the top 5, in the top 3, in the first place, but they can quite not find themselves right in the game. We have seen that Corinthians, they prioritize the position, they avoid again also battles in the beginning of the game, and during their rotations casually they will find some kind of battle, but they find themselves in the game, and I'm using that as an example to express the situation of Pen Game right now, which is not good.
And now General getting targeted by the FURIA squad from below. FURIA trying to get to a better positioning to fight the Vivo KEYD team as Corinthians fights Fluxo on the other side of the map. But we see Nando9 trying to get a shot on Memgado over there, but Vivo KEYD might get into a bad positioning because Los Grandes is also flanking them and sandwiching them as of right now, as we reach the 11-minute mark for this map, as we see the fight from Fluxo and Corinthians going on right now. Cias trying to get the good positioning to find Ousado over there, and we see Godkill trying the shots on Hazur, shooting the ice barrier to get to Hazur, but Hazur took off by the left side, and we see Cias using the grenades and finding Ousado and dealing half of Ousado's life in damage. Fak is the one trying to find the information on the Corinthians team. We have Ousado, we have Zenak, Hazur, and Gelo coming in, but we see Team 1 fighting Metagaming with only 2 players. Team 1 fighting with only 2 players against the 4 players from Metagaming, and now Drizzy is on the floor, and only Azai to stay in this fight for Team 1, and it seems like Team 1 will not leave the relegation zone as of right now, because they get wiped out by Team Metagaming, who now have 5 kills. They scored a kill on Netshoes Miners by the start of the game. Once again, that fight going on in Brasilia, Metagaming and Netshoes Miners. And it goes better for Metagaming. But now Corinthians and Fluxo once again engaging in the fight. We see Chapa BKR trying to find the spot, the better spot for that fight. We see Fak with the AWP trying to find a head over there, and he sees the heads from Hazur, from Zenak. Dangerous spot for those players, but Leozin goes to the ground because Chapa BKR found the shot. Zenak also puts Fak to the ground, brings it back to Corinthians. The fight takes a breather over there, but Hazur is on the floor and Corinthians losing players. This fight might go well for Fluxo because they dealt a lot of damage as well onto Ousado. Zenak finds, got killed, but the grenades are now coming! Cias! Cias! Oh my god, go! B! Cias once again! And the fight is still on. Ousado is on the floor once again. And only Leozin to try to fight for Corinthians. And Corinthians is back on the lobby with only 1 point. Cias, my man! Let's play some basketball, please, man. Please, because you're go BCS!
I mean, just a quick comment before we go to before and Fluxo team, but how come CS can manage to work so good at the grenades?
He is doing an amazing job. And now Godkill is on the floor, but R7 is also on the floor for Before, we have two teams fighting. Before and Fluxo now see us trying to position himself to help Godkill, but Godkill will be sent back to the lobby. Indeed, that happens. Lobato finishes him off and sends him back to the lobby, as we see Gezin from Netshoes Miners joining the fight and sending Japa BKR to the ground, and Iago stealing the kill from the Netshoes Miners team that put Fluxo in a bad position. And now we see BLGod trying to fight the metagaming players. FURIA and metagaming fighting as before tries to take off, but FURIA gets so wiped out by Kawe. Oh my god, Kawe sends FURIA back to the lobby. Triple kill, and metagaming now has 9 kills. Amazing job by metagaming after that problem that they had in the end of the Purgatory map. We see PH from Santos trying to get some information. He knows that the players from before are coming, and he already got that information to Autoboot, who is checking the zone over there as well, and the player from Fluxo fell to the ground because of the safe zone. And now we have Lobato trying to rotate. Cias gets the quadra kill, but Fluxo is all wiped out because of the safe zone. And we have Pen Gaming fighting against the Netshoes Miners. Cebolinha is on the ground, and Stick is also on the ground for Pen Gaming. 7 teams remaining, only 25 players. Lots and lots of individual fights between the teams up until right now. As we see, we're reaching the 16-minute mark in this match. Kaique trying to find the shots. Stick using the grenades from the sides, trying to get to the Netshoes Miners team, but Leal fighting right now from inside of the danger zone against Cebolinha. Cebolinha puts 2 players to the ground. Natividade helps. 2 players, 3 players now for Pen Gaming. Natividade may bring it back. Stick puts Cebolinha to the ground, and he sends Natividade also back to the lobby. He will not be able to help Leal, and now Pen Gaming with only 1 player. Stick trying to hold on for its team to score a few more points via positioning. But Nando9 sends Metagaming back to the lobby with a nice shutdown against the Metagaming players. Pen Gaming also wiped out because Gus found him trying to reposition inside of the safe zone. Santos, Los Grandes, and Vivo KEYD still remaining. All teams with 4 players. No, Santos has only 3 players to fight in this last battle. That guy is sent to the floor. Rafax doing a good job with the weaponing, and thus finishing PH, putting him to the ground. The grenades coming in from Gus. He has to find the damage. He is doing a good job with the grenades, but look at Modestia using the grenade launcher and almost getting to Mamute. Los Grandes have 5 kills, but Gus finds the grenades once again. He exposes himself from behind the ice barrier to try to use that grenade once again. Rafax does puts PH to the ground and finishes PH off. Now Santos has only 2 players remaining, and Vivo KEYD will join that fight. They get to Autobot, they get the kill on Autobot, and Mamute finishes Santos off. It's a 1-on-1. Vivo KEYD against Los Grandes. It's a fair fight, 4 players for each team. And Modestia tries to use the grenades. The Nando9 is way behind, trying to find the shots, and Gus is sent to the floor. Also Does goes to the floor, and it's Booyah! Vivo KEYD! They get the double Booyah! They get the points that they needed so badly. And maybe, just maybe, Vivo KEYD will reach the 2nd place, Carol!
Marcelo said, Carol, what is your expectations for this 40 match to come? I said, a double booyah! And we got a double booyah for Vivo KEYD, Marcelo. Well done for them. That even with no much points for killing, they managed to be in the best position right now, and against Los Grandes, which makes me very happy to see them in the 2nd place right now, doing an amazing job. But a booyah with a big congratulations to that God, Cabeção, Modestia, Nando9, and General. But Marcelo, I want to see the confirmation for the points, because what Metagame did before they died, they probably finished this match with 90 points for killing. And I want to see how many points they got in this last match. So let's check this out right now.
As we see the points coming up on the screen, Mamuchi, the top killer for the map with 3 kills, putting Los Grandes in the top of the standings. Vivo KEYD getting 16 points, Meta Gaming getting 14, and Santos and B4 splitting the 10 points, and Pen Gaming doing a good job with 9 points.
Yes.
That might bring our table to a little bit of a mess as of right now. We are going to watch the second half of the table, and we will see Corinthians with no points. Probably the worst day for Corinthians
So far.
in the season, as we know that Corinthians scored at least 40 points on each day. They scored 1 point for killing, but no points for positioning. Team Codasolid also with no points.
No point.
Team 1, who desperately need points, with no points. Fluxo with 7 points, getting a little bit ahead of Team Codasolid right now. And the Netshoes Miners and FURIA team having an awful day as well. Netshoes at least got the booyah, but FURIA having an awful day today, right?
Yes, FURIA is not having definitely not a good day. Not FURIA, not Corinthians. Today they started the day with the left foot. But in the contrary, Marcelo, Metagame, which was the worst team this season in Purgatory, had an amazing match right now. They are definitely standing up with their gaming, and they are definitely setting new strategies. And talking about strategy, Team 1, who didn't score any points right now, I have noticed that they are changing rotation a lot in Purgatory map, which is kind of showing us right now their game it's being damaged by their options.
And we will check the standings as soon as possible to bring you guys. It will come up on the screen for you guys to see. And Vivo KEYD took the second place. And not only they took the second place, but they got closer and closer to Corinthians. Only 39 points on Corinthians right now.
Two more booyahs for them.
2 more booyahs for them, and they get to the top of the rankings. Amazing from Vivo KEYD today. Fluxo also getting to the 4th place. Good job by Fluxo before also trying to climb up the rankings. But that leaves a smile on SS Esports' mouth. Even though they lost their second place, Corinthians is not opening a big gap on them.
And we know that always when SS Sports are going to play, they always finish the day with in front of Corinthians or very close of Corinthians.
And tomorrow we have direct confront.
Yeah, so right now their fight, it is with Corinthians.
Yeah.
So they will come definitely for Corinthians tomorrow, Marcelo.
SS Sports right now has 2 direct confrontations for the 2 next days that we have of Free Fire this week. They will face off against Corinthians tomorrow, and they will face off against Vivo KEYD on Monday. Vivo KEYD is messing this whole ranking system as of right now, because imagine Vivo KEYD gets 1 more booyah today.
Well, that will definitely mess up with the plans of SS Sports. And Loud, who are in the 3rd place, started the day being the 3rd place. Right now, it's all the way to the 9th place. And I said the numbers for the 4th place and to the 9th place were very close, but I wasn't counting and picturing this right now. The Loud would definitely be in the bottom of the 8th place. But talking about bottom, Team 1, it is climbing in points, getting needed more than 20 points to get closer of Team Liquid right now. But Pen Gaming is doing their job here today strategically. This last match, they were really good. The last remaining player, Sticks, did an amazing job for the team, and they are getting more away of the relegation zone for sure. But Marcelo, tomorrow, not only Loud and SS Sports will come for very hungry for points in the table, but I would say that Nitroxx Top 10, we have watched this same performance of Nitroxx Top 10, where they being very bad in the table, and they flip the table over for the side, and they go straight for the left side of the table.
But Carol, was what I want to point out about Team 1 is the fact that they still ain't got to the number of points that Pen Gaming had at the beginning of the day. The Pen Gaming started the day with 327 points, and Team 1 started heavily the day, scoring points and scoring points and scoring points. And for the last 2 maps, they
Yeah.
had awful matches, right? They need to bring it back to the beginning of the day, right?
Yeah, the first two matches was really good for them. They should have definitely keep the same consistency. But like I said, their rotation is not working very well for them, especially in Purgatory. They are having very problems in their rotating. But let's see if in the last two matches they will at least get enough points to get closer of Team Liquid, because maybe on Monday they can change the scenario again for them.
So let's take a breather, let's drink some water, let's hydrate, and we will be back as soon as possible, and we'll be right back to bring you guys the last two maps for the day. Stay there and wait for us. Jan, he has his sights on Gelo, who hit the grenade outside of the house, and he made them rotate from inside the house, and Las got the best of Ousado. He puts Ousado to the ground, but Gelo kills Jan. Azuri and Gelo with the shotgun, putting two players down. Nicholas and Lost went to the ground, and Kawe could not hold it. Meta Gaming is wiped out, a clean wipe out by Corinthians. We are back live, and we see that the players are also back live with us, and I'm eager to see which team will turn things around in this fifth map of the day. We're heading to Kalahari, and Corinthians is on the bottom of the table for the day. They are having the worst day in Free Fire Brazilian League for them, and they are the worst team in round number 13.
But Marcelo, you know what else I like more than a double booyah?
Please.
A triple booyah, Marcelo. I like triple booyahs.
I want that triple booyah from Vivo KEYD to mess up the rankings. So let's see if what I'm hearing, what I'm listening. Yes, we're clear to take off, so let's hit the skies. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R13D5 heading straight to Kalahari. This is your captain, Marcelo Ferrantini, and by my side, my co-pilot, Carol Momchel, invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, because it's time to drop, Carol!
It is indeed time to drop, and we are dropping, ladies and gentlemen, in Kalahari, the favorite map of Marcelo. Not mine, but also the favorite map for Santos and before, even though they are not facing off here, Marcelo. Someone who is facing off, it is Nobru, because he's back in the game.
Nobru is back 1.5 weeks after he last played.
Yes.
It's nice to see that beautiful hair from Nobru.
Well, it tells me that because the team is not having great moments today, even though they are scoring points, very low points. Maybe that's why Nobru is back.
But it seems that they are quietly doing a good job, Carol.
Yes, a slow job, but still quietly, right? Yes. Maybe that's because Cias, Marcelo.
Cias is trying to save.
I'm very excited to see the MVP list, because I'm pretty much sure Cia is back in that.
Maybe Cias is indeed back, as we have Nobru also coming back, trying to get to that top 5. as well.
And I tell you what, Fluxo team, we are talking about them. They got 2 booyahs on each of the maps this season. So let's say maybe if that's the time with the comeback of No Brew, they will get a booyah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, Dudu FFX! You just learned how it hurts to get your head blown up with the M241 by the player from Pain Gaming, who is surrounding. It was Kaique over there. He got the kill on Dudu, and the straight out of nowhere that killed the RKO out of nowhere.
Well, yes, right. I'm just checking out about their position right now because Santos goes to the refinery, but Santos also like to position where they are right now. Well,
Santos usually takes the hills around the refinery over there.
Exactly, but not for a long time because Pain Game came, and let's pay attention on the rotation of Furia team.
Furia is also coming for them.
We already saw the Furia came a couple of times for Santos in their call.
And Aldo Boots trying to get some information on the players from Pain Gaming, but now Furia is there, is the team that is pressuring them inside of the refinery. We see Bialgod rotating and PH trying to find the best positioning. He knows that he will have to fight and look at Fon. Laying down on the ground and trying to get the shots, but he misses field. Furia already inside the refinery. We have the drone going over the refinery and Furia trying to take their spots near the containers to start that fight from below. They have the disadvantage in position, but they have the advantage in numbers since Dudu FFX was the first blood for their match. And Carol, surprisingly, Santos taking pressure on the refinery, as that's something that we don't see usually unless before drops to the refinery with them.
Exactly, we used to see pressure from before over Santos, but this match started very crazy for me. I never seen Pain Gaming there. Right now, the rotation of Furia confuses me a little bit, but they retreat. And they decided not to come for Santos, even though they know that Santos in number disadvantages would be very hard for them to go where Santos is in the position over the top. But metagame is adopting again the
antenna strategy.
The antenna strategy, what Team Liquid does, right?
And metagaming usually does as well that strategy, but now they have to deal with Corinthians. Ousado took a shot from Kawe and took half life in damage. He already healed, but the grenades coming in from both sides, and Yan trying to find the players from Corinthians.
And we already see this fight, Corinthians and metagame. So let's see who is going to take the best right now.
Let's see which of those teams will get out of the command post alive, as we see Corinthians trying to get some more utility to fight against metagaming. Ousado trying to get the information, and he sees no players as Santos fights Team 1 on the refinery, and we see Leozin getting the information on the players from metagaming. The grenades are coming in, some grenades hitting the walls, and maybe a player will blow himself up, and that's what we like. But that seems that it's not gonna happen because metagaming is taking off, Carol. Metagaming is switching sides inside of the command post, trying to fight Corinthians away from that wall. Maybe betting on the face-to-face confrontation with no grenades involved, since Corinthians is doing a good job with grenades. Ousado is being hot with the grenades, and maybe metagaming is betting on the mano-a-mano confrontation, right?
Yes, they have probably changed their rotation to come behind of Corinthians right now, which I think is very smart of them, especially because they are very close to get a booyah today. They finished the last round in the second place with only 9 points for killing. Right now, the best strategy they had or is using the rotation behind Corinthians, on Corinthians' back, or just to, you know, share the call and wait to see where the safe zone goes. But I'm really enjoying to watch metagame today, Marcelo. And like I said, we are probably going to see them in the highlights of the day among the other teams.
Metagaming, who is currently in the 3rd place in our rankings for the day, right, Carol? And they might get into the highlights of the day. We have the best team as of right now is Vivo KEYD with the double booyah. But Fluxo is the second team with most points scored for the day. Metagaming is in the 3rd place, and they would be better if they didn't mess up that booyah that went to Team Codasolid, who is in the 5th place, by the way.
Exactly. But talking about the map Kalahari specifically, that while we watch this, should I stay or should I go off metagame in Corinthians?
Carol, please let me take this over because Ousado was sent to the floor by the P90 from Drax. And Cauê is trying to find the shots on Zenak over there. There are players from Corinthians on the ground, and Metagaming is trying to get the points. Zenak is sent to the floor once again by the Scar of Drax. Drax trying to hit Ousado over there. He gets a few shots on Ousado, and Yan is pressuring Corinthians right now. Corinthians is having a bad day. They needed those points to get a little better in the rankings to not allow the teams that are coming from below to get to them. But it seems that Team Metagaming will not leave them in peace. They are trying to come over, and Leozin using the double vector puts the first player to the ground, but he is sent back to the ground once again. And Hazuri is also on the floor and back on the lobby. Leozin. Now Hazur is on the floor, but Drax is also lying down, and Yan will be run over by Ousado. He knows that Ousado is trying to come over. He's using the shots over there, and he sends Ousado to the ground. Will Corinthians be wiped out once again in the last place with no points? Oh my God, Corinthians, who scored at least 50 points per day, are back on the lobby with no points. Carol, Corinthians is scoring for the day 16 points only.
Only 16 points for a team that in each round so far got 50 points at least. Only 16 today, Marcelo. It is definitely a shame.
And they will not score those 15 points because they have only one map, and they would need to score at least 34 points to be in that 50 points mark. And Metagaming once again pressuring and getting points in the beginning of the game. Team Codasolid killing 3 players from FURIA over there. FURIA also a team that's not having a good day, and they will get the confrontation going on against B4. FURIA is wiped out because Iago found the kill on the last player remaining. But now Team Codasolid is the one who will engage against B4. The 2 teams that wiped out FURIA will now face each other. And now Iago trying to rotate, Lobato and Juan leading the charge, R7 trying to flank the players from Team Codasolid, but the grenades come in, and they take half life of R7 and Juan. And Gus from Team Los Grandes coming in, the whole Los Grandes squad coming into the same place. It's now a 3-team fight, and now Vitinho and Pão and Quali trying to rotate, find a better spot to fight. And we see Gus, a man that is doing an amazing job with the grenades, trying to get to the R7 players. To the B4 players with R7 in the floor. We see Iago over there on the top, not getting to the fight with Gus, trying to keep himself hidden because Juan was trying to flank Gus, but the ice came in the right time and protected Gus in this fight. We see the grenades coming. R7 trying to find the best place to fight, and he knows that Gus is outside of the house. R7 doing a bad job with the grenade, and he was lucky that it was a flashbang, because he would have been blown up by his own self. And now Gus is on the floor. Nice grenade from R7. Juan putting half back to the ground, but look at Duz. Duz with the Balbao, sending Juan straight to the lobby. Cauê puts VN10 to the ground and finishes off Cauê, but we have the fight going on. The ice barrier almost killed R7 with his own grenade. And now the shotgun's doing a good job. Mamute puts Iago to the ground, and B4 has to fight with only 2 players, Lobato and R7, but Lobato puts Mamute to the floor, and he will finish off Mamute, or will he be helped by his teammates? He is helped by his teammates, and Los Grandes still have 4 players to fight, but look at R7 with the grenade. Gus puts Lobato to the ground, and now only Iago to fight. Iago finds Mamute and gets the kill on Mamute, but Gus! Oh my God, Gus!
Wow.
The triple kill with the grenade! He puts B4 all back on the lobby!
Wow, that was an amazing performance from Gus, definitely.
And now we see Autobots trying to engage into the fight against Pen Gaming, but Fawn will be a victim of the fight. He will be left behind, and Team 1 is all wiped out by Vivo KEYD once again. Los Grandes also wiped out by Vivo KEYD. Oh my god, what is Vivo KEYD doing? Bang Gaming trying to rotate to fight Santos, and Santos is sent back to the by a mine from Stick. Nice, intelligent job by Stick, setting the mine to kill the last player from Santos. 6 teams remaining, with all players remaining. The teams are all fully protected to get to this last fight. 24 players remaining, Carol.
And I mean, Fluxo team with the full squad, Metagame with the full squad, none of them inside of the safe zone, only Fluxo team, of course. Let's see who is going to have the better position to get the Booyah, Marcelo. Maybe it's the time for Fluxo team? Who knows?
The first player who gets the positioning is KEYD. His position was laying down on the ground because he fell to his own misery. And now we have Bang Gaming getting time to KEYD. Recover himself, but Metagaming is coming over, and Drax and Yan doing a good job putting 2 players down. And Metagaming playing the aggressive game today is making it work, and Bang Gaming is sent back to the lobby all the way as Nobru stole a kill, but now Cebolinha engaging into a fight against Vivo KEYD. Nando9 puts Cebolinha to the ground, but Cebolinha eliminated 1 player from Vivo KEYD. We see those 2 teams engaging into a fight, and Modestia is being targeted by EGZ. Nobru finds the kill on loss. The first player from Metagaming is sent back to the lobby, and Modestia is trying to keep himself alive, and that god is the one who goes down. Nando9 has just a little bit of life left, and maybe Vivo KEYD will be wiped out. Vivo KEYD is indeed wiped out by Pão, who got to the fight. 4 teams remaining. The safe zone is getting shorter. The teams have to reposition themselves, and Netshoes Miners is a team who is doing a good job in Kalahari. The Kala Miners may be coming for the double booyah. They try to engage against Team Codasolid, who also wants the double booyah. As we also have Fluxo and Metagaming still on the map. We see the positioning from all 4 teams, and the safe zone is getting shorter. They are playing by the safe zone. Draxian and Kawe trying to reposition themselves for Metagaming, and the shots coming in. Kawe is on the floor. Fak trying to get the kills for Fluxo. Nobru repositioning. We see Kawe on the floor. Drax is trying to hold the whole Metagaming squad on the game, but Cebolinha goes down. Yan, the grenade launcher from Yan, but the Netshoes Miners go down because of the safe zone, and Metagaming also goes down. It's Fluxo against Team Codasolid. Will the newcomers get the double booyah, or the champions will remain solid? It's a 2v4 situation for them, and Pack and Pão finishes it! It's booyah! Team Codasolid! Look at what the newcomers are doing! Tell them that they are not worth it. Tell them that where they belong. They belong in the top 3, Carol. It's booyah, Team Codasolid.
I'm very happy right now, Marcel, especially because I just saw the team very happy because of the last booyah. I could see a little bit of the coach, which is a girl, and she's doing an amazing job, because if today is not a day for Furia or Corinthians, it's definitely a day for Team Codasolid getting another booyah. And I tell you what, this is the 5th booyah of them, here in Free Fire Brazilian League, and they got 2 booyahs in Bermuda, 2 booyahs in Purgatory, and 2 booyahs in Kalahari, which now it is the 5th way, right? So, well done for Team Codasolid. And also Metagame, Marcelo. Metagame, who is doing a consistent game today. They are showing themselves always in the top 3, 2nd place. This is the 2nd time they are in the 2nd place, which is very good. But looks like, seems that with no brew back in Fluxo team is doing definitely this differential in their game, Marcelo.
And Carol, this was a map that highlighted the 4 of the 5 teams that were in the top 5 for the day. Before this whole map, we had Vivo KEYD, Fluxo, Metagaming, and Team Codasolid in the top 5, and it seems that Team Codasolid might get to the 1st place or close to that. They are doing an amazing job. that double booyah is helping them climb up the rankings, and before with only 2 points we'll lose it, but Corinthians with no points, Carol. Corinthians with no points, only 16 in the whole day. What a bad day by Corinthians today.
Definitely a bad day.
And SS Esports is laughing hugely in their houses, right?
Yes, definitely they are cheering the fact that Corinthians is not having a good day. Maybe this were the plans of SS Sports the whole time. Who knows what they did? I don't want to say anything, but anyways, not a good day for Corinthians, not a good day for FURIA team, but definitely a day for Metagaming, Team Codasolid with a double booyah, Vivo KEYD who already got a double booyah, and we are going straight to Bermuda map that we know that Metagame have the best of the best performance. Will be that the time of Metagame to score a booyah, and I'm putting this expectation on Metagame because when I see a team that are doing an amazing job during the rounds and get very close of the booyah, I'm getting very confident that at some point they will get it. But we know that didn't happen with before, even though they score a lot of points in one day, they didn't get any booyah.
And Carol, we have to say that I have to say, I was expecting this fight for the top of the rankings to be over. I thought that Corinthians had their domination settled, and that they will be. We have the standings coming up for you guys to see. That they will be dominant and safe on the top of the rankings, but Vivo KEYD closed the gap to 30 points, and that leads them to direct confrontations. But look at Fluxo and Team Codasolid. Team Codasolid getting to the 4th place, Fluxo back on the 3rd place. We know SS Sports still have 2 days to play yet. However, the teams are doing their jobs. They are closing the gaps. The 3 teams that are in the top 3 of the rankings behind Corinthians are the 3 teams that are scoring the most points for the day. So, in Corinthians is the team that is scoring the least points for the day. So, the fight is on once again.
Yes, indeed, the fight is on. But what is more on today, it is the seriously points that Metagame are getting, and right now they have passed ahead of Los Grandes who didn't had good match in this last match, of course, but also I want to give a big shout out to Pain Gaming, who's also doing their job, getting more points. They are getting a little bit closer of Nitroxx Top 10 points, which it is definitely good. But yes, Marcelo, definitely not else to say about Team Codasolid. Amazing job here today.
And it's important for them to get to the 6th booyah because that is a tiebreaker condition.
Yeah.
And they are now tied with Fluxo and Vivo KEYD and ahead of Corinthians. They're still not ahead of B4 and SS Sports, who might join the fight as well for the top of the rankings. Loud, who might get to the top of the rankings. But if they fight against Corinthians with a tiebreaker, they will have the tiebreaker advantage. Against Fluxo, they are tied. Against Vivo KEYD, they are tied. One more booyah will put them in an amazing position.
Yeah, but actually, if today were the finals, still Vivo KEYD would win because of the points of kills.
Indeed.
So they should definitely still watch out for that. I have noticed that even though Team Codasolid get points for the booyahs, for the position, they have less kills than the 2nd place, the 3rd place. So yes, it is, of course, it is the best team to get the booyah. It is the goal here. But also, we know that each point for kill counts. So try also to get more advantages in kills if you're stealing, if you're not avoiding early fights, because each one of the things counts, right?
But Carol, picture this. Last map, Bermuda. Corinthians is sent back to the lobby in the 12th place. Vivo KEYD gets the booyah with 8 kills. The distance is in 10 points. We'll bring you back in 1 minute after the break. We'll be right back. I told you it was 1 minute. We are back live, and the players are also back live. We have the last map coming up, and I'm tight. I need to go. I want that the clearance to take off. We still got the clearance to take off because we might have the fight for the top of the rankings happening in front of our eyes, Carol.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch Vivo KEYD right now. So, Marcelo, my focus will be right now Vivo KEYD, Team Codasolid, and Fluxo team, because Fluxo team, these last 2 matches, they came very strong, and let's see what they will lead us in the Bermuda map. And remember that Bermuda map was the best team for Fluxo team last season. They are trying to adapt themselves again this season, but also pay attention on meta game that were this close to get the Booyah in Bermuda map in our first match of Bermuda today. So let's see, Marcelo.
But who I want to keep my eyes open are 2 teams, Corinthians and Vivo KEYD. Will Vivo KEYD take the spot? I don't know if they will take the spot on the rankings, but they already took their spot on our plane because we're clear to take off. So let's hit the skies! Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight R13 D6 heading straight to Bermuda. This is your captain Marcelo Ferrantini, and by my side is Carol Bombshell, my co-pilot, who invites you to loosen your seatbelts, fasten your boards, cause it's time to drop, Carol!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our final
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to our final destination in Bermuda map. I know you guys like it. I like it. All of us like it. So let's see who likes it more to reach the top of the Booyah, because Vivo KEYD with 1 Booyah can be 10 points behind of Corinthians. Fluxo team can be back to their place in the 2nd place. And Team Codasolid can really surprise us here today.
We see the teams spreading throughout the map. It seems that we will not have early confrontations right now, but B4 and Santos are neighbors near the clock tower, and that might lead to that old confrontation.
And probably Team Codasolid will maybe adopt the safe game right now, because they know they already are doing replacements. Maroto. Never seen Maroto play before.
Yeah, he's debuting in the LBFF Season 5. And that was a change that I did not expect. Team Codasolid is one of the best teams of the day.
Maybe, Marcelo, it's because they're having such a good day. They're very confident that, of course, like I said, each point counts for them. But because they are having a very good day today, they are not so much worried for this last match, because they already got all the points they needed with the double Booyahs and excellent top 3 points. So let's see, maybe they want to test this new guy, to see how he goes.
Or maybe he's a role player who now Team Codasolid feels confident to use and maybe try a different strategy, as we see that they went for the mule, a not usual drop call for Team Codasolid, right?
Exactly. But I want to know,
have you ever seen the rain?
If B4 will at some point come for Santos, because B4 was the best team last week. Today we haven't seen much of them. I missed to see this action from before, but also FURIA team. No explanation for what's going on today.
No explanation from FURIA today. They are not having a good day. They are doing an awful job keeping points for themselves. One of the teams scoring the least point for the day. However, they are still better than Corinthians with only 16 points.
Yes, indeed, they are better than. And as they go to their rotation right now, I want to see if Team 1 also will get the guts at least to get away in more points of God Unidas right now, because precisely they needed to get these points ahead of God Unidas if they wanted to get away of the relegation zone. We already saw that Pen Gaming changed their game strategically, dramatically, and right now would be a very good moment for Team 1 come for FURIA team and score points over kills, which I think they already have spotted 1-9.
And they are fighting for to leave the bottom 3 for the day. As we see, FURIA is the 4th to last team in points today, and Team 1 is the third to last points. It's the second to last in the day, and those two teams need to increase the number of points that they get as VN10 sees the players from FURIA using the pad to leave that region of the graveyard, and they have it all for themselves inside of the safe zone already, and they can work from there as Azai tries to get to get some information. And Vivo KEYD is the team close to FURIA, and they might engage into a fight, Carol.
And not only having highlights today for Team Codasolid and Vivo KEYD, who are the only teams that got double boosters here today, but also we have to talk about the grenades, what these guys are doing with the grenades here today. Cias, he's getting the best points for Fluxo team because of one single grenade. With one grenade, Cias, it's putting 3 players down and get the points. We haven't seen also Santos, which is the best team in Purgatory, losing for Corinthians. A mano-a-mano fight against Fon and Ousado, getting really serious, and lost that for the big team, Timão hands, Marcelo.
And we have to see more from Timão as well. We have to see more from Corinthians as well. Carol, only 16 points in the day, letting the other teams close the gap and the fight for the first place going on. We see that Vivo KEYD is trying to keep themselves safe to fight the last fights of the day, as we also see Fluxo, a team that is trying to settle themselves inside of the top 3. They are in the 3rd place right now for the season, and it seems that the fight between Team Codasolid and Vivo KEYD started because Nando9 put Maroto to the floor.
And
maybe he was not that Maroto.
Maybe he was not that Maroto. He was definitely not that Maroto, but Santos is still remaining in Clock Tower. Fluxo team coming to Clock Tower, and also Netshoes Miners tells me that maybe the late stage of the game will happen around there.
But Santos has the best positioning, but they will have to fight with 2 teams coming from each side of their defenses. Autoboot has the information on the players from Netshoes Miners, but now Fluxo is also engaging PH, trying to get the shots, and he puts Nobru to the ground. No, Nobru survives the shots, the feast of shots coming over to them, as we see Japa BKR rotating, trying to get to a better positioning inside of the other house, not the same house that its teammates are, and Autoboot is defending against the Netshoes Miners team. The 2 teams are getting closer to each other, and B4 is coming for them as well. Now, B4 might help Santos get rid of one of those teams that is threatening their position in the clock tower, Carol.
And so we already have noticed that Santos always decided to go to the center of call, and clock tower is definitely a really good call. In Brasilia, my favorite ones would be Observatory, where this FURIA goes, and clock tower as well. And this tells me that it is very strategically because it is in the center, so they have the control of this call, and they can get the shots against the other teams. They are doing their approaches, but today also is not a very glorious day for Santos. They have not scored great points. They are close right now in our table of Loud team that we're going to play tomorrow. So let's see if Santos will at least manage to hold and defend the center of call right now, because the teams will get closer.
We see that Japa BKR is trying to get the information on the players from Santos, and maybe get the information on the players from before that are coming from behind. And we see 4 teams also near each other: Pen Gaming, Metagaming, Vivo KEYD, and it was Pen Gaming we see over there, Vivo KEYD, and Team Codasolid also by the ground, as we see Pen Gaming rotating, but they will have to deal with Vivo KEYD. Modestia is coming over, trying to get the information, trying to get to the drop, and he might be in danger. He gets the grenade launcher, and now he has to go back to its teammates, but with the sights from Pen Gaming on him.
And we saw that also Pen Gaming is having great points here in our table today. They are doing the best as they can. Pen Gaming, there is a team very known in the scenario of esports scenario. And here in Free Fire Brazilian League, which is kind of funny, they always struggle in the same position of the table. They are always around the relegation zone. They are always around the classification zones, and there it is, a fight against Team Codasolid.
Almost 8 minutes and still no first blood for this last match of the day. And looking at Pão trying the jumpers against Rick, and Rick tries to rotate, and Team Codasolid might be joining the Booyah to bottom club if Pen Gaming does it better. But Maroto finds the kill. Pão is sent back to the lobby because he's sent back to the ground because Leal found the shot with the Babao. Maroto puts Rick to the ground once again. Doing a good job. The debuting player. Oh my god, I stuttered. The debuting player for Team Codasolid getting the first blood for the last match of the day. Vitin sending one more player to the ground, but Modestia is joining the fight. Vivo KEYD is joining the fight and maybe saving Kaique. Vitin is on the ground. Quali is on the ground. That God trying to find the players from Team Codasolid. Pão is reloading and he's on the floor. Team Codasolid from Booyah to bottom. Sent back to the lobby with only 1 point for killing because Vivo KEYD stole the kills from Pen Gaming. Now Modestia rushing against the last player from Pen Gaming. It's Kaique. Kaique trying to survive, trying to keep Pen Gaming on the game, and it's not gonna happen. Modestia gets the triple kill, and Vivo KEYD still splitting the kills among themselves. 3 kills from Modestia in this fight, Carol.
And I really like to watch the team that split their points. We started day saying that FURIA team did that in the last week, and it's good to not depend in one single player. Even though Modestia were the one that got more points here, we saw the participation of Dead God, General, and Nando with 0 kills, but still helping with the support. And it is important to have this spread with the players.
We know that Vivo KEYD is the only team with every player with more than 40 kills for the season. And we've seen Modestia, we've seen General figuring in the MVP list. We've seen Nando 9 figuring in the MVP list. We've seen that God figuring in the MVP list. We only need to see Modestia, and he's doing his job today to maybe show up in the MVP list. But we see the safe zone closing near Bimazak, near the clock tower, and maybe the fight will happen in the open, Carol.
I would love to watch a battle in the open because we see the abilities of the players, how much practice they are taking, and the guts they have to manage to be the best team in the middle. But who is in the middle so far? It is FURIA team. But I want to bet. Ooh, grenade launchers!
Grenade launchers from Natividade, putting 2 players from Santos to the ground. No, it was only PH who was on the floor, and now Netshoes Miners will engage against Santos. Natividade using the grenades once again. Will he Colby? He didn't Colby, but Autobot sent a player to the floor. Natividade Colbying do FFX. PH trying to come over. Ijezin holding it with the shotgun. 2 players down for Santos, 2 players down for Netshoes Miners, and Dudu sends Vitin back to the lobby. Now Santos has the advantage, and Natividade is on the floor, but Ijezin sends PH to the lobby once again. Santos has the advantage in numbers, and now Dudu FFX is getting healed by phone to get a little bit of time to get to him and help him up once again. Only 1 player from the Netshoes Miners team that forced takeoff from Netshoes Miners did not work, and Ijezin will try to keep himself alive. However, Autoboot is looking for him, getting the ghillie suit, and looking for the last player remaining for Netshoes Miners. However, FURIA defending the center of the map in Bimazak over there against the squad that is Los Grandes. Memgod using the grenade and putting Mammoth to the ground. One more grenade coming in. One more grenade coming in. Memgod making it rain. Field finds the head of Dust and puts Dust to the ground once again. Gus is the player fighting with the grenades, and Memgod once again with the grenades find the kill. But Drizzy gets to the fight. Team 1 getting to the fight and trying to get some points. Gus is sent to the lobby once again. Los Grandes will be wiped out. They only have one player still remaining. It's Rafaex. Team 1 gets 2 kills, 2 important points for Team 1 in this fight. Japa BK are getting the head of PH, getting the head of PH in Santos. Over there, as you see, Team 1 still fighting, and Field is sent back to the lobby. Great job by Team 1 taking the spot from FURIA and joining the middle of the field. Look at Rafaex against Drizzy getting the kill. We see R7 doing an amazing job with the grenade, killing 2 players from Fluxo. Los Grandes is back on the lobby. Team 1 getting 4 important kills for them in the fight against the relegation zone. Fluxo dealing with B4, having trouble dealing with B4 because Juan got the kills, and Iago and Lobato send Fluxo back to the lobby in the 9th place. FURIA is also back on the lobby because Azai got the kill. Important numbers by Team 1 right now. They may try to leave the relegation zone in this match. As we see Ousado trying to send Team 1. Ousado! Go B! Ousado! Finally, Corinthians is in the match.
Wow.
Finally, Corinthians arrived to play today, but Vivo KEYD still have 6 points, 4 kills in this match, doing a great job trying to get to Corinthians. Kawe finds Autobot and sends Autobot back to the lobby, doing a good job with the double AWP. We see the Vivo KEYD squad preparing to advance, and Kawe once again putting a player from Santos on the ground and back to the lobby. Double kill by Kawe in this fight, Carol.
And meta game with the full squad, Vivo KEYD with the full squad, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to Team 1, who is managed to take down important teams like Los Grandes and FURIA team, showing that weakness is not by their side.
And we see that Corinthians is now trying to deal with B4, and they need those points. Kawe sending all by himself the whole Santos squad back to the lobby. Only 5 squads remaining, 16 players is still alive. Hazur trying to find a better positioning. Iago puts Leozin to the ground, and Leozin's kill is stolen, and now Netshoes Miners is back on the lobby, but Corinthians is trying to take over the spot from before. Look at R7 sending Corinthians back to the lobby in the 4th place. We have B4 with 2 players remaining. We have Vivo KEYD with 4 players remaining, and Vivo KEYD is rotating to try to engage into this fight against R7. And Metagaming is still alive in this match, doing a good job keeping the points from positioning. And now B4 is all wiped out because Modestia and that guy got the kills. 8 points for killing 4 Vivo KEYD, and they have the positioning to deal with Metagaming right now. It's a 4-on-4 matchup. They have to deal with only 4 players from Metagaming coming from below. Will the triple booyah come for Vivo KEYD? It seems so. Modestia gets the kill on Kawe, but Nando9 goes back to the floor. Lost gets the kill. It's a 3-on-3 matchup. Vivo KEYD had the better positioning, and now that guy tries to find the players from Metagaming rushing on them. The grenade's coming in, Modestia! Amazing job with the grenade launcher. Now only Ian remaining. The grenades are coming in. Ian puts Modestia to the floor with a nice headshot, but he sends Modestia to the lobby. Still Ian trying to deal with that guy in General. He has to fight that 1v2. Let's see if he'll be able. He rotates using the negative to protect himself, trying to find the General and that guy inside of the ice. Will he break the ice? General tries the shoots, but no shots get to Ian! Wow. And it's booyah! Vivo KEYD! Ian almost got to it, Carol! But the triple booyah is in the hands of Vivo KEYD!
I love double booyahs, but I love more triple booyahs, Marcelo. And who have thought that Vivo KEYD will get a booyah, Marcelo, and getting points closer of Corinthians, like you said?
And Modestia got the shirts of Nando9 over there, paying homage to its support, doing an amazing job, and keeping the team alive. What a fight that Ian brought to them. Almost Young got the last kill. That God had to save the team.
No, for me, of course, Vivo KEYD probably will be the best team of the day because of the triple booyah, but they should share this position with Meta Gaming. What Meta Game did today was amazing. They were so close to get another booyah right now.
Look
and
at that
Ian, he was a mano a mano against that god because he even put a general.
He put General to the
down.
ground. He was taken 2-on-1. He was flanked by General and that god. He reloaded. We see that he reloaded and he put General to the ground with a headshot. And that god had to finish him off. The last player remaining indeed was that god to save this triple booyah for Vivo KEYD. And Carol, the fight for the top of the rankings is on. Vivo KEYD is back on the fight, and Corinthians needed the day that they needed the most to claim themselves on the top of the rankings. Modestia getting 7 kills for this matchup, and Corinthians brings the fight back to Corinthians, Carol.
Yeah, and Corinthians, they showed up a little bit in this last match here in Bermuda. We saw them going down in the 4th place, which will help them a little bit more in the points. But Vivo KEYD 24 points. How many points did you set before start? How many points they needed to get 10 points behind?
They needed 20 points. They got 14 points. They are 16 points now behind Corinthians.
Amazing.
It's one match. It's one match.
Amazing.
They are one match behind Corinthians.
Yeah, even though they don't play tomorrow, they will play on Monday. And Corinthians, who plays tomorrow, they needed to work their A off if they wanted to get away off of Vivo KEYD.
Yeah.
Because not only Vivo KEYD, but SS Sports
SS
will come
Sports
tomorrow.
is coming. SS Sports might help Vivo KEYD in more ways than one. Because if they try to face off against Corinthians in that direct confrontation, they might help Vivo KEYD that will play all by themselves against SS Sports on Monday. So this week will be full of emotions.
Yes, we'll be definitely full of emotions, Marcelo. And it is so good to see the increasement, the growing of Vivo KEYD this season. Vivo KEYD, who finished last season almost in the bottom and almost out of the Serie E. It is definitely good. But Marcelo, right now, I says my shirt, baby needs a minute.
We all need a minute to take a breather and
Because-
digest that triple booyah from Vivo KEYD. Amazing day by Vivo KEYD, and that reflects on the standings, Carol.
Yes, I'm very excited to see the standings, so let's check this out because I want to see Vivo KEYD's shining in our table in the 2nd place. Of course, Fluxo team did their job. They are points away of Vivo KEYD and Corinthians, and I'm pretty much sure SS Sports will come tomorrow very hungry for the top again. But Team Codasolid, before Fluxo team and Vivo KEYD, they gave their name here today
In metagame.
in metagame. I was about to say of them because I want to see them in the highlights of the day. How many points for killing, how many points in each map. The best team of the day, we know that is Vivo KEYD.
And we gotta talk about this Vivo KEYD day, because they had the 2nd best day by a team in this LBFF Season 5, losing only to Nitroxx Top10, who also got the triple booyah, but by 1 point. They got Nitroxx Top10 had 85 points for that day where they got the triple booyah, and Vivo KEYD got 84 points today.
Amazing, definitely amazing. They had this, like I said, they had this growing from last season. Right now, very good, bringing Nando9 as a good support. We have examples of best supports here in the scenario. Memgod from FURIA, Kronos from Loud, and have a newbie showing. Probably he learned from these guys that are playing here today, right? And having a newbie helping so much this season, but Dead God and Modestia, they are a full team. They are a complete team, right?
They are a full squad, a well-balanced squad indeed. Probably the most balanced squad in LBFF Season 5, and it shows up when you cannot depend on that god, you can depend on Modestia or in General or Nando9.
It's not only in one specifically player, right?
And we talking about the 4 players, we don't see Cabeção playing a lot because the 4 players are doing an amazing job.
Exactly. We not even saw General much today. We
saw-
focused. I mean, we focused on Nando 9 with the support
And
that
Modestia
got
with the kills.
Ian Modestia, exactly.
It was an incredible day by Vivo KEYD today, and we will check out who was the best team of the day coming up on the screen for you guys. It was Vivo KEYD, a bad job on Kalahari, however, Purgatory and Bermuda, oh my god!
Well balanced in Purgatory and Bermuda, which we can't forget about Kalahari. But once again, Marcelo, this split, this sharing points for killing between the players, 12 for Modestia, 8 for that god, 7 for Nando, and 7 for General. And I have to apologize because I said I didn't see much from General, but he was in the same
quiet.
yeah, he was doing the same exactly amount of points as Nando 9. So again, once again, a very balanced team.
And silently amassing points for themselves. General, we say we did not see General getting those 7 kills today, but he was quietly adding points for Vivo KEYD in the day, and it was really good for the team they did not play well in Kalahari today. They got an average of 4.5 points per map in Kalahari today, but we know that 4.5 points is the average that Corinthians scored to get to the top of the rankings in maps that they didn't get the booyahs. But in the maps that they got the booyahs, Purgatory and Bermuda, they amassed an amazing 19 points average in Bermuda and 18.5 points in Purgatory. That's incredible for a day for Vivo KEYD. It shows why this team is now fighting and bringing the fight back to Corinthians, who was well distanced from the teams coming for them, and it says Corinthians, it's not done for you guys.
Yeah, and there were people who doubt about them because in the first week they started like they were today. They were so good, they were so fast, and right now they had this drop in the performance. But anyways, they are back in the game, and I want to check also the highlights of the day, Marcelo.
Let's check this out. The highlights of the day are coming up for you guys. And Vivo KEYD indeed taking the first place with 84 points, but look at CS. 16 kills for CS.
And most of them for grenades.
Most of them with grenades. Indeed, as we see Lost in the second place with 14 kills and Modestia with 12 kills for Vivo KEYD, but we see that the most kills for teams were well balanced. Metagaming with 36, Vivo KEYD with 34, and Fluxo with 34. Fluxo finishing the day in the third place, but Metagaming with an amassing 73 points without a booyah. That's almost what Before did in the last round.
Monday, yeah.
On Monday, with no booyahs as well.
And we know that this is also a goal here. Even though Metagame they mess up with the only opportunity they had to get the booyah, because they were, for sure, they were about to get the booyah in Bermuda, in the first round of Bermuda here. But to see them scoring this amount of points and with 0 booyahs, it's everything they needed.
And Carol, check out the points per positioning for the day. If you subtract the number of points for the day total for Vivo KEYD from the most kill points, you stay with 50 points per positioning for Vivo KEYD in the day. 50 points only for positioning. Okay, triple booyahs, that amasses 36 points. However, they did what they needed to do. They stood alive for the whole day. We only saw Vivo KEYD getting eliminated in the beginning of the game in one map, in one Kalahari map.
And I tell you what, I was already expected to see Cias in the individual kills. We will probably see him as well in the MVP list, but I wasn't expected to see Fluxo team in the highlights of the day. I was sure the Vivo KEYD and Metagame would share this spot with Team Codasolid, who had also a great day today with a double booyah. But maybe with the points for killing by Cias, that brought Fluxo team with the most points and most kills.
Exactly, because they only scored 30 points per positioning. It's 64 minus 30 points.
Yeah.
That's what they got for positioning. That's not an amazing
Yeah.
number of points. It's 5 points per map. It's good. It's okay. But it's not that huge, as we see from Vivo KEYD getting 50 points. But the kills from Cias made the difference indeed.
Indeed.
For Fluxo.
Yes.
And we
Yep.
I'm sorry, Carol.
No, you go ahead.
We have the standings that we wanted to see.
Yep.
The kill leaders for the day, Carol.
Let's go
You
for
were
it.
expecting for it, right?
Yep. I wasn't expecting for it, so let's check this out.
The tables are coming in and Ousado is still leading. But look at who you expected to see.
Cias is back in the game. I'm really enjoying also to see Vitin who joined the list on Monday. But Cias, I was pretty much sure we are going to see Cias here, and he's couple points behind of MTS, 2 points behind. Vitin also 1 point behind. Only Ousado is leading that, but Ousado it's about to miss this place, Marcelo, tomorrow.
Since Corinthians is having bad days, and today was an awful day for Corinthians, but General also getting to the kill leaders rankings. Even though he was the player with the least kills for Vivo KEYD, that shows the consistency of the team that we were talking about. And in Fluxo, we've seen Nobru getting to that list, and now we see Cias, Vitin doing an incredible job for the newcomers of Team Codasolid. MTS, a solid player all around the season, and Ousado needs to bring back the Ousado from the mid-season, right? Yes,
exactly. And well, what else can we say, Marcelo? Those are natural born killers. And I seen that I think I have to practice more my Free Fire game style, because having not a double booyah but a triple booyah from Vivo KEYD, a team that started this season very good, had this dramatically drop in their points, and right now coming back so good, and right now fighting for the first place, it is everything. But also Team Codasolid from Serie B to the top 3 of Serie A.
I loved the day today. It brought the fight back to everywhere on the rankings, on the standings, and tomorrow we'll also bring the fight back, because we have the schedule coming up for you guys to check this out. We have a direct confrontation for the top of the table between SS Esports and Corinthians. Before might also be joining that fight, and Team Codasolid might be joining that fight against those two teams, Carol.
Exactly. So tomorrow we have these actions between the teams that we want to see, Marcelo. SS Sports, Loud against Corinthians. Yes, against Corinthians. But like you said, God Unidas and Team 1. So tomorrow
and
Team Liquid, exactly, because Team Liquid is close off the relegation zone as well. But in the middle of the table, we still have this confrontation against INTZ, FURIA, and Netshoes Miners, and Nitroxx Top 10 that I'm pretty much sure will come tomorrow with the aggressive game. But something tells me, Marcelo, that we also have fights on Monday.
Yeah, we have fights on Monday coming up, and it's a decisive day since we reach the last day of the second to last week of LBFF Season 5. We have Fluxo, Los Grandes, Metagaming, Pen Gaming, Santos, and Vivo KEYD fighting against God Unidas, INTZ, Loud, Nitroxx Top 10, SS Esports, and Team Liquid. And that might give us the picture for the final week of fights that we will have in LBFF Season 5. Looking for the top 12 for the finishing rounds of the season, and looking about relegation, talking about relegation as well, as we see Pen Gaming and Team Liquid and God Unidas fighting, not Team 1 joining that fight, but still we have things to discuss, and the direct confrontation between SS Esports, Vivo KEYD, and Loud, possibly deciding the leader heading to the last week.
Yes, so we, like you said, we have a full weekend. We have tomorrow, we have Monday, but today already gave us the taste. Today, so far, is the best day.
One of the best days.
Yeah, let's see if tomorrow can beat the day of today, because today definitely with triple booyah, double booyahs was definitely a day to remember.
And we expect tomorrow to be a day to remember, and I want to thank Carol Bombshell once again for being by my side in this broadcast, and for you guys for all the attention that you gave us for the audience, and thank all our crew behind the scenes that helps us bring you the best Free Fire in the world. Brazilian Free Fire League is on its way, and we'll be back tomorrow, right, Carol?
We'll be back tomorrow in the same time, in the same channel. So I hope you guys can join us tomorrow as well.
We'll be here at 1 p.m. in Brazilian time and at noon in Eastern time for the United States. And we will see you tomorrow. Let's get ready to drop.